Dun, 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 dun.
I was trying to be taller. That was my tall look.
You look
I
tall.
always try to be tall.
Well, you got your wish. You saw someone do, Mr. Terrificon. So there you go.
I did, and he will be back this year. Yeah.
Nice.
Nice.
He'll be watching.
Is the one obvious thing.
Hey, happy Tuesday, everybody. You are watching Splash Pages. My name is Leo. I'm the monkey behind the keyboard here. We have an awesome show scheduled for you as always, and we'll get the show on the road. Carrie, how's it going?
Hey, everybody. It's going really good. Happy Tuesday. Super excited about the show tonight. I've been planning on talking to this man now for, as you can see, I booked my trip in February. So ready to go. Super excited. Let's see how Jar's doing. Keep this thing rolling.
Hey, it's Tuesday night, and we're here on Splash Pages, and I'm Jar Jeremy, and you're here, and we're here, and we've got a great show. So let's move it on to Drew so we can get our person out.
Thanks, Jeremy. That was extremely eloquent, and
Thank
you are such
you.
a great wordsmith. Yeah, great. Hey, everybody. Of course, for some reason, I'm last, which I'm not going to hold against them. Yes, it's here. It's Tuesday. You had nowhere else to be, and we're glad you chose this between whatever you've been rewatching on Netflix or Hulu. We have a great show, but especially we have a great guest. Someone here we all respect so much, yet fear whenever we see him in person on the day of the show. He is a legend in the Connecticut community. He is... I feel like the goal of all nerds is that to be like this guy he has the knowledge, he has the tools, he runs a stellar con. Everybody, Mr. Mitch Hallock.
We got to get an applause button.
I know. You should. You're afraid of me at the show? Really?
Oh,
me?
We all know to let Mitch.
Yeah.
Mitch has got a mission, so stay the hell out of his freaking way.
If you ask my kids, my boys, they're all grown up now, but they would tell you there's certain expressions on his face like "uh-oh," because they grew up with it. They'd be like, "Don't go near him." And I'm gonna give you a little heads up. So anybody watching, if you see this, if you see the tongue going inside and just like nodding the head, that's probably like don't go near him right now, because I'm at the point thinking, how many years will I get in jail if I do that? So,
In my mind, sir, I have nicknamed that resting Mitch face.
Oh, okay, that's a good one. RMF. that it? RMS?
Oh my God, Carrie, that's perfect.
You know what's so funny? I was in Italy and there was a vendor of ours. There's Captured Collectibles. They were at the Lake Como art thing. I was walking around. They spotted me. They're like, "What the hell are you doing here?" I go, "I'm doing my job." And I had my flyers and I'm like, trying to get guests for next year and on.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, "Oh my God, you're smiling." And I go, "What does that mean?" They go, "You're never happy." But I wasn't working. I was working, but I wasn't at my show. I was at somebody else's show, so I could actually experience it. And they were like, "Oh, you're so dead serious at the shows. We never bother you." And I'm like, "Huh? Is that really the reputation that he's just like, he's got his boss face on? Don't mess with him. He's working." Really?
I mean, kind
Anybody
of.
with a brain.
Yeah, I mean,
Anybody with a brain.
I'm not that guy. I mean, anybody knows me. Leo knows me and Jeremy and everybody. I'm a total jerk. Not a jerk as in a mean jerk, a goofball. So
yeah.
Oh, definitely.
But I mean, I feel like, what was it, last year? I was walking by and I was dressed as Deadpool, and I think you saw me and you nodded, and I don't know why, but I was like, he nodded at me. I was like,
stop.
It's gonna be a great day. It was just like
They give you hope blessing.
Yeah,
It was
you
almost
just
like
were like,
Rebecca Romaine touched him.
yeah, he was just like, okay, like
Was that
fine.
Sunday morning?
I think no, it was Saturday. I was just walking
by
around.
Sunday, and if anybody's going to the shows, Sunday I can't speak anymore because every year
Oh yeah.
I lose my voice no matter what. And we've already pre-ordered the cough drops with the honey in them that we get from like Switzerland or something.
There you go.
And I just lose it. I think it's because it's dry and I'm yelling and I don't know or I'm at that country bar on the Bull on Saturday night screaming my head off. Yeehaw!
There you go.
Yeah,
But
every year. My boys.
How long's your limit on the Bull?
Well, I always tell them don't hurt me because there'll be no more Terrificons, so they kind of slow it down. And then the bridal party will come on, and then they'll throw those girls across the room. I was like,
oh yeah.
Or you'll get one of those big muscular gym guys like, "Oh, I can ride anything. Come on, man!" And then they lock their inner thighs down it, and then the guy
just
turns it to the number 11. Hey, that dude wakes up in a hospital. I mean,
there you go. But yeah, we are so excited for this year's Terrificon. We're all doing all of our prep. We're bringing our Splash Pages A game. So cannot
everybody else's F game, but like our A game. So don't worry.
I've started like because there's 6 weeks to go, literally 6 weeks before the show. I started putting together my box of stuff to get autographed that I'll never look at again and just shove in the corner. But I have to get it. My OCD is like, gotta get that autograph. Or if I can't find one book out of my 20,000 books, I start ripping the house apart, and then I go on eBay and buy it again. And I gotta get that book signed by so and so, and then I'll get it signed, and then I'll just put it in a plastic bag and just put it under a bed. But
do you use CLZ to keep track of
my buddies at the show, Scott and Chris, have that on their phone, and they have all their books all organized and what's signed. And I mean, I tried during the COVID when we were locked down to go back and I started alphabetizing books and putting them in order because I'm like, when am I going to do this again?
Right.
And it was just one of the most boring, depressing things I've ever, because I started looking at the money and all the things you've bought over the last 50 years, and you start to cry, literally cry.
I think I can do one worse. I actually did mine on an Excel sheet, and I've had it for like years. So that's I just sad. And I keep forgetting, and I'm like, oh yeah, I should update that. And then I just, like you said, I just looked through it. And I'm like, oh man, I could have.
Have you done the dumb thing I've done and bought the same book twice and maybe 3 times?
Yep, that's. I have a pile for regifting. So if someone's, I was like, oh yeah, no, this is a great book. You're gonna love it.
I don't know why it was like Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man 150. I'm like, oh, I don't have that. And even though I have a list on my phone, like, no, I now have every Spider-Man from issue 1 till now. I have them all. But I'm like, oh, I still need that. And it's some weird thing, and I'll buy it, and then I'll come home and like, I already have 2 copies. What is going on here? I'm like, I must really like that book,
There you go.
My issue now is, I'll look for a book that I know I have, and it's like gone.
Yeah. I started collecting obscure books like those giveaways, like the toothpaste giveaways, like Spider-Man
Oh,
and
no
Maine
kidding.
toothpaste fight the cavity creeps. I'm like, yeah.
Well,
And
that's
like,
why I
forget
went
it.
after treasuries. I was like,
Oh, I have my
I need
treasury. I just
something
bought
different.
I just bought a treasury a couple weeks ago. I bought the Welcome Back Cotter book. It's
Oh,
seriously.
that was
nice.
one of the hardest ones to find.
Good
It
for you.
was?
Yeah, for myself, I had because
I'll
I
sell
tried to
it
get
to
a
you.
deal on everything. Oh,
I'll give you
I
a
have it
deal.
now.
It's over here. Oh, well, yeah. And then I bought like Yogi Berra's Laugh Olympics because I didn't even know they made this. And I'm like, why am I buying this? Because I don't have it. Yes, I just bought that. I have it's right here, literally.
Right.
I'm not going to get up because I'll knock everything
It
over.
should
But
be on the ceiling, but it's not.
There you
it
go.
was just it's because the same reason why we all go to this show every year. You know why? It reminds me, you, everybody watching, of like some fun moment in our life, whether it was with your friend or you were just sitting there on the porch in the summer and the school wasn't starting yet, or you got a book, or your boss yelled at you, or you broke up with somebody and you read a comic and you forgot about everything. That I don't know what you want to call it, that moment of peace, that whatever it came to you, that memory that's burned into your brain cells, that's what you're trying to recapture.
Yep.
I swear to Christ, that's what it's there for 3 days. People are wandering around trying to find that hit of that nostalgia hit.
Oh,
Like I remember going to the 7-Eleven and getting a Slurpee and picking that book off the spinner rack and putting my 50 cents down and getting that book. And I want that day back. And that's all this is. So that's it.
Well said, Mitch. Nicely done.
That's what I do. I want that feeling again. I want that X-Men, giant size X-Men #1, 7-Eleven. Dude, I could close my eyes and see myself there. I'm like, I gotta get back to that guy,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Not to sound morbid or anything, but a lot of the collecting I've been doing recently is, family members that I've lost that I know they gave me like I've been collecting a lot of Transformers recently, and it's like, trying to find like the one my grandmother gave me for Christmas or my
that's
sister gave me
cool.
for Christmas,
That's I can remember my grandma giving me like 60 cents to go buy the giant size Tarzan. With the red cover, I know exactly what he's fighting a lion on the cover, Joe Kubert, and I could tell you where we were, where the car was parked, where I ran in and got the book, ran to the counter, paid it. Yeah, it's I guess it's fun because you remember your grandma and your grandparents and your mom and your dads and all those people. Yeah. It's bittersweet. But
It's still nice.
yeah. On that happy note.
Yeah, thanks, Leo.
Thanks, Leo.
I apologize. Well,
Note to self.
Quick.
You
Like
10
10
minutes
down
in.
or start the show off.
Yeah.
Oh.
You mentioned one thing, Mitch, that you went to a con looking for guests for next year. How soon did you start looking for next year's guests? Because you have over 100 guests this year.
Whoa, yeah. Dude, I'm turning down people, and I feel bad about it. I don't have any more room. I did the floor plan this weekend. It'll be up this week. I know where all the artists are going. I know where all the exhibitors are going.
Sweet.
And I'm sending emails from people like vendors, like, hey, any space left? I could be greedy and go, oh yeah, there's a loading dock in a closet. And give me the money. Because we've been to those shows where you're like wandering right here in the men's room and one of the stalls, you open it up and there's a dude selling comics. It's like, what are you? This is the best booth they had. I'm like, what? So I'm not that hard up. So I'm not selling every square inch. But yeah, Mike Grell, who I've loved, Starsayer, and all the other books he's done, Warlord. I said, hey, Mike, I'm sorry, buddy. I got no room. He's like, what?
Right.
Like, yeah.
Wow.
Dan Jurgens we got coming next year. Yeah, there's a lot of people that come every year that I said, would you mind very much if we kind of either skipped a year or you just took a year off, because I'm trying to, get some newer faces in, but I'm also trying to, space everybody out,
Right.
So.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't next year an anniversary year? Like it's a milestone?
It'll be the 10th year at Mohegan Sun next year. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how I'm going to top it because this year is pretty damn impressive. I say so myself. I go, wow, I'd go to that show,
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Rooker is going to. Are you having Rooker do a panel?
Rooker does a panel, but it's like you just give him a mic and you let him
Oh
go.
yeah,
I
absolutely.
learned my lesson
I was
last time
gonna
we had
say.
him here. Yeah, I had to sit down. I had the wired mics, and he came in, and there's video somewhere. He just ripped the microphone out of the thing, and he just flipped the table, and he's like, "I'm not sitting up here, man." And he just ran for 45, 50 minutes throughout the entire panel room. It was crazy. So yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like Rooker.
Good times.
Yeah.
I heard that Sylvester McCoy is similar to that. I don't know yet, but we'll find out. I heard he does just let him go with a wireless mic, and that's the end of that. So
Yeah, that sounds like something a doctor would do.
right.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's
Go
fun.
ahead,
It's
Carrie.
fun.
We're breathing in.
Oh, and well, with the Daredevil thing going on,
Oh yeah.
Dan Chichester's the only person who, and it's not because you didn't ask him, it's because somebody else booked at the same date
Yeah,
that you're booked on that you're missing.
yeah.
But you have all the other Daredevil artists,
I
don't
know.
you?
Trust me. I
And
Catholic guilted him like you wouldn't believe because I said, "Hey, buddy, you know that gig you got with Marvel? Yeah. How'd you get that gig?" I went to Terrificon. I talked to CB Cebulski, and he gave me my job back. Oh, yeah, yeah. You got to finish that story, didn't you? Yeah. And now what are you doing? Well, I got booked for a show in San Jose. What was that? What was that? So yeah, Chichester will be in San Francisco or San Jose this weekend, this
Yeah.
year. So, but he knows. Trust me, Gary. He knows. He knows that he's on my list, and you don't want to be on that list.
Oh boy.
You get that Mitch look at you all day long.
Oh no.
oh, he's wonderful. I met him because of you. You actually last year's Terrificon was my first con, and
Ever.
yeah,
Ever?
I live
Whoa.
in Nebraska, and it was there. There's been very limited. I can't
Yeah.
drive is another thing. I have epilepsy, so it's been my ability to do things is very limited. But I enjoyed it enough that like this February, I was already like getting my hotel room and my flights for this year.
Yeah.
So,
I'm looking at
but
that
yeah, it
story,
was
and I'm like,
so
"Wow,
much fun.
that's a good show." And then I go, "Oh, that's my show." I'm
That's
like,
a really good show.
"That's a good guy." Yeah. Oh, yeah. I want to meet him. Yeah, the man thing. Yeah, yeah. Oh, well, Chips.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
chip reunion. Yeah, no, it's good stuff.
Yeah. Oh, the dude
Uh,
from Stranger Things. Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
No, I mean that's the funny thing is I used to go to so many more cons just because me and some of my friends we were just riding that cosplay circuit back in the early 2015s. And
yeah.
now I don't do any, but especially because we do it. But I've raved to anybody. I know as a cosplayer, like you got to go to Terrificon. It's a big con, but it's got that old school feel. It's that sentimental. It's
Yeah.
about the artists. It's about meeting the people and stuff. And a few of my friends like, yeah, I'll check it out. And so I'm like, yeah, spend the money.
Yeah. There you
Buy
go.
one
There's all
more
the
comic.
autographs. Yeah.
You know.
Well, that's cool. It's nice that you say that. It's maybe because I don't know how to make a big, giant corporate show because I'm not a giant billion-dollar corporation. Wish I was, but I'm not. But, I don't think I really want to do that.
No, and I feel like, and speaking on that, I definitely kind of feel like fans are starting to wise up a little bit to that because I think this is the first year that I can remember that there are still NYCC tickets available for sale on the website.
I saw that. Yeah, I saw that.
I was just like,
go, but
what? Yeah, exactly. I was like, what? They're still available? Like, I'm not going still, but like, Saturdays are still available? Like, that's gone. What? Yeah, I know. I was like, Saturday? That's the first day to go.
Yeah.
Who are you getting? Who are you looking most forward to having sign?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, geez, you got Mark. Well, see, I've met Mark Waid already. He actually drew a Batman of all things in my little autograph book. I was like, here, you're my first autograph. So he drew a Batman. I was like, oh, that's cool. Scotty Young, I'm a big fan of his because I like cartoon.
He is great.
And he's got that perfect blend of, of the, like a Mad Magazine style kind of artwork to him, Plus, he's a great writer, too. So he's cool to have. I've met Jim Lee a couple times, so it's fun to have him here. But I've also I've met him in the past.
That line's gonna be crazy.
I know. If you notice, if you see the floor map, which I opened up already early on, and I'm going to list all the vendors this week, but I put Jim Lee and Scotty Young in the side ballroom because I've been warned by even Scotty Young's people and the Jim Lee people that the lines get crazy. So I put them in a room
Yeah.
that's going to have a wide open area, so I don't want to block vendors and artists and other
Mhm.
people because there's like 500 people waiting in line. So
A-
they're
Absolutely. No, I having stood on a Scotty Young line at NYCC,
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
it's crazy, but he is the
really?
best. And back in those days, he would did the thing where it would be 10 free and then it's like $1 a pop. So
Yeah.
I had a friend stand in line, so I get it. But yeah, and I agree with you. His style is just great. I mean, I think Carrie is a fan of
Yeah.
his work now because we're always hyping his covers and whatnot. And she just thinks what was it, Carrie? Was it Daredevil or Spider-Man? You just thought were so cute.
Yeah.
Oh, the little Spider-Man. He is just a
There you
little
go.
persian Spider-Man.
Oh, there I
Yeah,
got my
He's
I got my
adorbs.
Scotty Young stuffed Captain America over here too.
there you go.
You've got so many big names, so that I wonder how split up the lines will be that it'll make it less painful to wait through some of the lines. Because like
Well,
last year,
Scotty's
Claremont
yeah. No,
was
go ahead.
like
Go.
insane.
Scotty's there. I was gonna say he shouldn't be that bad because he's there for 2 days, but
Yeah.
officially he's gonna be there kind of Friday too. So I mean, we posted Saturday and Sunday, but I already been talking. They said, look, we'll be set up to go Friday, but
Hmm.
so if you're coming
Oh.
Friday, you'll probably see him. But
Yeah.
Jim Lee is 1 day. He's in
Yeah.
Friday, he's there Saturday, and he's flying back to California Sunday. So if you want to see Jim Lee and you want an autograph, by all means go to that. And then there's a panel that afternoon that he does too.
Oh, he's doing a panel too. Nice.
Yeah, but that's for the
Nice.
people that buy the because dude,
Oh yeah.
if people have asked, they go, what is this sold out? What is this sold out? We broke it up into sessions of 50 people at a time. So what we'll do is like, okay, group B go in and you got, 50 people. Group C, you're next. Because I learned years ago when we had George Perez 10 years ago,
Mm.
and George had lines like you wouldn't believe at the time. But what he did is he would
Yeah.
give you a ticket, like a little, red ticket you get at a carnival. And it would say
Yeah.
1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. And that's how he did it because you didn't have to waste your entire day at the con standing in a line. You could go walk around and then come back at 2 o'clock, just like Disney World, like a fast pass type of thing.
Yeah.
So,
I was at a con where they totally did not do that, and
oh,
it was
really?
one of I'm not going to say the con just out of respect. But yeah, and it was so disappointing because I had like me and a group of friends, and I had the OG Teen Titans with me, and all we really just wanted was a photo with George because it was one of the last times. Because I remember he was supposed to be because he was doing that final tour,
Yeah,
you
he was
know.
in New Jersey, and then he had a heart attack, and then he had to
Mhm.
leave, and then he was supposed to come to my show
Yeah,
for 1 day, and then well, we all know he passed away from cancer, but he was
right.
starting to get sicker then, so it was
Mhm.
really like touch and go.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
but yeah, I think I know what
Yeah,
you're talking about. But
yeah,
they
and
didn't
it was
do
just
that.
it was heartbreaking because they all this line, they just total disorganization, and I was grateful because some of my friends opposite of my group got to meet him, and he was great, and I've already met him.
Yeah,
And it's actually funny you say that because that was the con I had the same team with because it was supposed to be Marv and George,
yeah,
and that day
and then Marv
I had
fell. Yeah,
yeah, yeah, and I had the whole team, and we were so excited, and it was just going to be great. And then George, he had his heart attack and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah, yeah. He
And
landed and he had like heart pains. They rushed him right to the
yeah,
hospital.
Yeah.
yeah, and I felt so bad because my girlfriend was Donna Troy in the group, and I met him. I met him 2 times, and it was stellar. But she never got a chance to, and I
Yeah.
was like, oh, man, I was like, and I've told the story. I was like, I was like, no, he was great. He was just a
No, I tell
dynamo
you
of
what,
energy.
a lot of the things I do with the shows, if you're smart in life, you observe people. You don't think you know everything. Don't go thinking you know everything. Because I had a teacher
No,
back in college, and it was directed at me at the time because we were doing. I went for graphic design. It was technical illustration where you have, when you get a manual or something, like how to build something. And it was like this is this, and you know. And
Uh-huh.
the computer, I was at in the 80s where Macintosh and Photoshop and Illustrator was just starting, and we were
Right.
all traditionally trained. And I said to them, "You do realize in a year or two, all this is out the window because you're just going to sit down and draw something out on a computer, and you won't have to measure it." And the woman that ran the class, when we were doing the final presentation, I remember she stopped the critique and she came to my piece. And she said, class, there's just some people you're going to meet in life that think they know everything. And you can't teach somebody who knows everything. And I was like, oh, okay, thank you very much. But and everyone looked at me and I said, well, ma'am, there's also a thing about being short-sighted and not embracing the future. Because if you don't change, you're a dinosaur and you're going to become extinct. And that's where we are with this program. So needless to say, her and I didn't get an A in that class. But I did learn from her, and I always remember that, you can't teach. I was cocky, but I learned something as well. But I
Mhm.
remember when I saw George at my show in Bridgeport 10 years ago, this year actually, and he
Yeah.
was there. He got there before the show opened, and he stayed there after the show closed, and he made sure every single person got an autograph or got their time with them or
Yep.
sketch or whatever.
I
Anyway,
can
I always
thank
remember
me.
that.
Yeah.
You
That
can
was
thank
at
me
that
that
show.
he asked me
What's that
for
thing?
directions.
Yeah, I remember you were telling me that he was walking
Yeah,
down the street in
he
Bridgeport. And
snubbed
he's like,
me.
"Hey, where's this?" You're like,
And I'm
"What?"
like, aren't you George Perez? And he's like, no,
It's like,
no.
"No, no."
No.
How
Yeah.
could you miss him? He had the flowered shirts on, the
Oh, yeah.
Hawaiian.
I was
Yeah.
just like, I swear to God, that's George Perez.
That's
I
George.
was
That
kidding
was
to
him.
get back to the show, and I'm just like, I knew it was him.
Well,
Right.
and Neil Adams was like that too. Neil would come in early,
Yeah.
but Neil was a little bit more like, sometimes he had an attitude, but he was another guy that did his job,
I've
got
always
in
had
early
great
and
times
stayed
with him.
late and made sure everybody, even
I-
you had to pay for it, but he made sure you got what you
Oh,
wanted.
yeah.
Oh, trust me, I'm still kicking myself for not just putting the $40 down and getting a George Perez sketch. Because remember, he would do those
Oh
all
yeah.
day
Oh
marathons. I'm
God,
still
man!
kicking
I got my
myself.
Captain America. One of the first Captain Americas I got. George has banged it out. So
Yeah, I'm just like, oh fuck. But yeah, no, George was the best, and
yeah.
but like you said, you learn, you like, and I
No,
agree with you.
I learned to treat everybody the same. That my point of that was just to, no matter when you guys come into the show, you guys are already in because you get your press and all that. But what I do is the doors open, and God thank everybody for showing up. Because one day I told my wife we're gonna open the doors. There's gonna be nobody there, and that's when it's time to go home. It's been a nice career, but I open that door, and then they go, "Oh, the line goes down this way, and it goes this way, and it goes all the way down to the Mohegan lobby, and then it goes past the lobby, and it goes to Michael Jordan's, and it goes down the stairs." The thing's
Yep.
like a mile long, really, and I'm not patting my
Yeah.
back. It's a freaking long line. So, and we're good about getting everybody in pretty quick too. So don't worry about
Yeah.
staying out there forever. So I'll go to the very end and I grab the last person I can find and I go, come on, you're coming with me. And then we bring them all the way up front and I go, you get to go in first. Like, what? I'm like, yeah. And everyone's like, hey, that's all. I go, hey, that guy was the last in line. You want to switch places with him? Like, no, we're good. We're good. But hey, Justin. But I just remember that. Just like make sure everyone feels good, everyone's happy. We try to make sure that we, customer service. We do. My wife's there, my sons are there, my friends are there. We're all like making sure everybody has a good time. And Mohegan staff is helping everybody. But
Yeah.
that's all what it comes down to, man. You just can't be like cutthroat about it. You can't just be in it for the money. Just make
Oh, yeah.
sure it's a party, dude. It's like if you had a party in your backyard. You want to make sure everybody's having a good time. So you're going to run around like, hey, you need any more soda? You want more chicken? You want more cupcakes? Whatever you want. Have some ice cream. Take some home. Take some home.
No, and to your credit, that's another reason I like, even before I was on this show, I always made a point to go to your con because again,
Yeah.
it was that I always felt like the people were so friendly. There were always a nice variety of like costumes I never saw versus
Yeah.
ones that I saw very frequently. And then like you said, you get people that you do see at other cons, but then there were these people that was like, oh wow, I've never seen what was it? I've been dying to meet Jason Aaron for ages, but he's never at a con that I'm in. And then here he is, and I'm like, oh, I want to get all the things signed, but I have a budget.
Oh no! Not only that, what do you bring? Because I got behind me, I got my Thor. Because I'm like, oh, I'll bring the omnibuses. That way, it's got all of them in one. You know how much these things weigh? These things are like 7 or 8 pounds a piece, and you're not carrying. I mean, I'm not working out, but you're carrying a stack of books that weigh about 60 pounds, and then you dump it on their table. So
No, that's Leo and Carrie and Jar can attest. That's me with my suitcase. I would just wheel, and they would be filled with.
I had to pick it up last. Holy crap!
Yeah. Leo had to pick it up. He was like, "No wonder you're so strong."
I'll tell you the good thing is, and if you guys got in early and managed to get a hotel room because they go, like that, you can go back to your room and leave your stuff. Or if you drove in for the day or 2 days, the parking lot is literally right next to the convention center, so you can leave, get a wristband for re-entry, go out there, and dump your books in your trunk, and then come back and get more stuff and bring that out. So that's like one of the advantages. Because look, I've gone to New York Comic Con, I've gone to Baltimore. Good luck. Good luck carrying stuff around New York City, trying not to get it wrinkled or damaged or folded or bent. You get a piece of artwork and it's raining out. It's like, oh my God, all covered Mohegan. You never have to go see it outside if you don't want to. So that's always really cool to know. And plus, if you lose anything, dude, we've found books. Like, we're very good about that. Like, somebody's autographing books and they'll bring it to the lost and found information table, and I'll put on Facebook days later. Like, if anybody's looking for a certain book, private message me and tell me what the contents are, and I'll let you know. And sure enough, we have found people's autograph books and other things. They're like, no other show has ever done this. But I'm like, well, I'd be upset if I lost my autograph books, or my sketchbooks,
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I don't know. I'm trying to help you.
I'm flying Southwest because they let me bring 2 check-ins. So I can bring just one bag of like all of the comics and things that I need to bring with me, and then the other suitcase is the
Now,
clothes.
Carrie, do you mail those back, or do you?
Yeah, do you ship them back, or?
It depends on what it is. If it's books that I can fit into my luggage, I'll take those back with me. Last time I was on Delta, last time I loved your con. Getting there was an experience. I got stranded in Detroit.
I could tell you because
it was a problem.
I booked all the. There was that crazy storm last year. Remember, there was like massive thunderstorms that weekend. Because I remember some of the artists and the actors were stuck in Chicago and everything all weekend. So.
Yeah, somebody picked me up in Detroit from Dayton, Ohio, and drove me 13 hours to Norwich, Connecticut.
Yes.
Yeah.
I just booked someone's flight from Nebraska. Bob Hall, I believe it was. He's an artist. He lives out in Nebraska. Because let me tell you, I know every hub you can imagine because I literally had to book 80 flights this year. So I sit there and go to Google Flights and type in where you're coming from and to Hartford. There's very few direct flights to Hartford, okay? Very few. Chicago, Atlanta, even Los Angeles, you can find one, but it's a red eye. But it's very hard to get here directly.
Oh, you don't bring anybody into Rhode Island?
Occasionally, I'll get some TF Greens, and because it's about the same distance from Mohegan Sun to TF Green to Bradley, almost about the same. But some of the actors want to fly into New York and Boston, and I have to explain to them, you could sit in traffic for 2 hours, or you could sit in traffic for 5 hours. You're never going to know around here.
Absolutely.
That's all we have.
New Haven traffic, Well, in New York, obviously.
Well, it's the holiday weekend, and people want to go to the Cape Cod or whatever, and that highway just backs up for friggin' 80 miles, And no, I do not have any Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle guests this year. But next year I got somebody, and I know it'll be the 41st, but,
Well, I mean, technically you do, because Jason Aaron is writing the new Team NT.
That's true. He's got the very new 4-issue series. So, yeah, you're right. I do have that.
Yeah, so you're covering your bases. We got you. A little something for everybody.
This year was his 60th anniversary salute to Daredevil. So if you notice the graphics that I make on the website, a lot of the people have a Daredevil book in the background. That's just tie into the big global.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Can't wait.
Go ahead. I was going to say, Carrie asked me a question about contracts and celebrities. I'm reading that here.
Yeah.
Oh,
what does that mean?
My friend Raz, he's the co-host on the Owlite Network with me, one of the co-owners there, and he went to a con earlier this year, and it was a total nightmare. The night
Yeah.
before the con, half the staff got fired because they'd misbooked a whole lot of people.
Well, that would be bad.
A lot of people have been
Oh.
double booked, and they'd had this whole press thing set up. And then when they went to the press meeting, they were like, okay, so all the people we told you that you could interview, there's not a single person on the celebrity list that is doing interviews this year because they all are booked with contracts to either podcasts or something is going on where they're not allowed to speak outside of certain ranges on things. So you can't do any of the interviews. We aren't doing this panel. We aren't doing this panel
Yeah.
because
Oh well,
they
last year was
violate
it?
their
Last year
stuff.
was it
No,
during the
this was
writer's
in the
strike?
past, this was within the past 3 months.
Oh, okay, that's
So
totally different. Yeah.
yeah, it was, and then there was also one of the celebrities spent his entire time exceptionally intoxicated and doing things like holding screaming matches with his handler on the floor. So I know that you don't get things that out of hand. I just didn't know if there were any, if it was
Well, my
hard for you to
question to you
organize
is,
people that you can talk to, or
my first question is that guest on my guest list?
no, no, he is not.
Good. Okay, good. Woof. That's a load off my mind because I was going to just send Jeremy up there.
I would have
Jeremy,
mentioned it to you.
Yeah. No, I mean, pretty much. I mean, last year was the worst year I ever had because they had this writers. It was the actor strike or the writer strike?
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was the writer strike, and then the actors struck in support of the WGA, and it was this whole
Mhm.
mess. And like that was 2 weeks before the show, and literally I got this email from the union like they can't talk about any project they're on because that's supporting the studios that they're on strike against. So we had to cancel all the media show
Yeah.
panels, and it was like, what the hell? But then some of them would talk, but they could talk about the weather or their hobbies or why they got into acting, but they just couldn't mention shows they were on. It was very convoluted, and we worked our way through that. But for the most part, unless it's like explicitly said in the contract to me when I go to book these people, like so and so won't do panels or whatever. I mean,
Mm.
no, I never had that.
Oh, good.
But
Okay,
It was
I was gonna
awesome.
say, I don't think I've never heard anybody complain to me in all these years that, hey, why did you send so and so? If they don't want to talk to you, they're mostly, hey, I can't do it now or something, Or if there's a line of people waiting for an autograph, that's just common sense,
Right.
Yeah.
No,
Speaking
never
of
had
panels,
Cool.
have you got your panels situated for this year?
I have the times and everything, and now it's just a matter of picking which one of you people is going to be host, Jeremy. So I have to pick and choose who's hosting what because I have you, I have John, Sir John from the Pint of Comics podcast. I have John
Yeah.
Suntress from the Word Balloon podcast. I have Matt Herring, who's a friend of mine who used to do Secret Identity podcast. He wants to do a couple. So I have a good stable of hosts. And it's just because I used to host them all, if you recall. I used to do a lot
Yeah.
of them. And my wife killed me. She's like, where the hell are you? I'm like, I'm doing the panel with Kihi
I
Kwan.
got people looking for the bathrooms.
Yeah, I know. Where are you? We have a problem with some of these airlines.
Well,
I can't right now. But
yeah.
I retired from that, except if it was David Hayter, which I got to do that one because
Yeah.
that was the only time I was going to talk to him. That Gamercon.
we finally got that up last week, right, Leo?
I saw it. I was like, hey, I get to watch it. But no,
Yeah.
I guess you know what? I'm just dragging my heels. I guess I could post it this weekend. I'm home this
Oh, well.
weekend. I'm not.
What? Yeah, because what was it? I like I said, I've sat at enough of your panels, and I was like, John, and I even remember one or two like way back in the day that I sat in that you, Mitch, were there, and I was like, oh man, this looks like so much fun, and I've hosted a few panels myself, and I remember what is it, like Jar and everything. I was like, one day. And I even made that joke to Kara. I was like, one day we'll maybe we'll get to do a Terrificon panel one day. And she was like,
maybe.
I was like,
maybe.
maybe. And I'm like, sure. And if we're going by wishes, I'd like a pony.
No, it literally is a matter of getting to me early, and because I got so many other things to do, dude. I just ordered the T-shirts today. I ordered the bags today. The stickers came in. I mean, I'm doing all this other stuff. My wife's bugging me. We got to get food for the green room and stuff. You know, I mean, there's all these little things, and now I'm booking flights after we're done tonight. I literally got two actors that I got to get their flights now from LA, and you know. But it's just less for me to do. I go, hey, you're capable. You do the show. You do your podcast. I trust you guys. Go out there, host it for 45 minutes. Just you know what to ask. Just lots of times they run themselves. I mean, unless you get a real
absolutely
taciturn guest that doesn't want to talk. But
what it is.
I've definitely had to work through a few guest panels where it's just like, son of a bitch, do you guys want to be here?
I know, and I've done that too. Hey, there's a famous comic artist writer that I was interviewing in New York Comic Con. He's never been at my show, mostly because of this. He's very popular, and I'm not going to say, but I was arranged by Dark Horse to go interview him, so I went there at 1 o'clock to his booth, and I had my stuff, and he's like, "What do you want?" I said, "Well, your 1 o'clock interview." Well, they didn't tell me. Well, they told me, and well, I'm busy right now. We're signing stuff. I said, well, he goes, well, you could sit next to me and ask questions while I sign. I go, oh, okay, whatever. So I sat down next to him. I took my microphone out and I said, oh, such and such character. There's a big change coming. Is this something you really were, always thought about? Yes.
Right.
Okay. And what about it? No. So then I realized how this was going to go. Like it was just going to be yes and no, and he didn't want to do it. So Matt Herring was actually there next to me. So I took the microphone, I turned it off, I put it back in my pocket, and I got up. I said, well, he goes, where are you going? I said, I'm leaving. I said, why? I said, because you don't want to do this. And I don't want to waste your time, and I don't want to waste my time. I got more important stuff to do in my life. And he's like, but aren't you supposed to do this? I go, you know what, bro? The world will keep going around the sun, whether they hear from you or not. So good luck with everything. And he was just amazed. I'm like, look, there's no need to treat anybody rudely. Okay, there's no excuse unless if they're coming at you with some stupid attitude, you try to kill them with kindness. I try. But if they're going to just go above and beyond, you do. Like I told you before we started, so I'm going to be 58 next week. There comes a point when you go, you know what? I've got only so much time left on this earth, and I'm not going to waste it with your belligerent attitude. I'm sorry if somebody peed in your Cheerios today and you're upset.
Right.
That's your problem, not my problem. Okay. I'm trying to help you sell A, B, and C book, trying to help you make money. If you don't want to do this, why did you come to this convention to begin with? What's going on here? I mean, you're here to sell, whatever this is, whatever product you're here. And, it's a business.
Right.
I've even had some actors that needed to be talked to, and they were rude to one of the staff people. This is like in 2017. And he was making the people take his lunch upstairs. And then he said, bring it back downstairs. And they said, bring it back upstairs. Oh, no, I'm going to have it. And then at that point, I watched this person from Mohegan running up and downstairs with this guy's lunch. And then he goes, oh, it's cold now. And then I walked right over. I said, can I talk to you for a second? And we went behind the curtain. And this is a famous superhero guy. And I said, listen, buddy, cut the crap. And he's like, what? I said, just cut it out, okay? You're not getting any more food. That's the food. If it's cold, it's cold. That's on you. We're not waiting on you anymore. I don't know what's going on with you, but that's the end of it. And he's like, are you serious? You can go home if you want. I don't care. And he's like, whoa. I go, dude, there's no need to make that guy run up and down the flight of stairs. What's going on here? He's like, well, I want to go. No, we're done. 4 times is enough. Eat the lunch or don't. We're done. And the next day, he was nice as could be. He was after that, everyone was like, what did you say to him? He was nice as anything. I go, I don't know. Maybe it's just a readjustment or something. I don't know what happened, but you just don't treat people certain ways. You just don't need for such a thing, Like, why?
Yeah. No, I completely agree with you. I mean, the same thing I learned that when I was a substitute teacher. Like some kids just need to hear no. They need to, and then they'll foam at the mouth, but eventually
my lawyer said that years ago. My lawyer graduated Yale or Harvard School of Law. He said sometimes people don't like to hear a word. It's called no. And we were talking about something, and somebody kept saying this. I want this. I want this. I want this. And the guy's like, no. Oh wait, no. And it was just like, whoa. He goes, yeah. you can always ask, but you might not like the answer, and that's just the way it is. Okay.
All right.
All right.
Exactly. So,
Anyway, I'm
Good
sorry
time.
if I was
On the
going
other
off
hand,
on
I've met
No,
Mitch
please.
coming out.
on the
No, it's
other
all
hand,
good.
I've met some of the nicest celebrities at your con too, like John
Same.
Wesley Shipp,
Oh yeah.
Larry
Oh,
Penny.
that guy, he's a saint. Everybody knows that. He's
Oh,
on my
John
list.
Wesley Shipp is
He's the
Okay.
role model that all the other guests have to follow in my book. Like, if you're as good as this guy, then you're all right. You know?
I'm now my brain's like, who have I met at Terrificon? And I'm like, John Wesley Shipp, yes.
Oh, you want me to get the
Key,
list?
yeah, Key Huquan was amazing.
Yeah.
That was
Geez,
Jason
Henry
dope.
Winkler, Ralph Macchio, Billy D. Williams,
Mhm.
Rebecca Romaine, Jerry O'Connell last year who showed up. You know, Jonathan
Yeah.
Frakes. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Another
like,
wicked, nice one. Kevin Conroy was nice.
Oh, Kevin was there at the
Oh my
first
God,
show,
he
and
was
he
a
there last. Yeah, poor
saint.
Kevin.
Yeah.
God rest his soul. Yeah. Another sweetheart. I see, and you know what's funny? Like I told you, there's certain guests that just get it. I remember being in the photo op area, just checking in on stuff, and there was Kevin Conroy talking to Tim Daly, who was Superman on Voice of Superman.
yeah.
He was on Wings and a bunch of other shows, but
Mhm.
he had never done a convention. That was his very first convention. So he's
Nice.
talking to Kevin, and Kevin's like, "So how's it going? What do you think?" And he goes, I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know what this was going to be like, but
Yeah.
I am in shock." He goes, "Why?" He goes, "All the fans want to do is just express their gratitude. That's all they're coming up to. And they're just saying thank you. It's I've never had such adulation." He goes, "I'm not trying to say, oh, look at me." He goes, "But I'm just saying it's just a very amazing rapport, because you don't
Right.
get that because you're either on stage and there are people over there, or you're on a camera on a TV show and there's nobody there. They're on, they're watching you months or years later." But he said, "I never had a one-to-one, and it's just one after another, after another, after another, and that's all they keep. I just want to say thank you. I just want to say thank you." And Kevin says to him, "Isn't it amazing?" And they're so genuine, and that's all they want to do is just tell you how much they enjoyed your performance. That's it. That's all it comes down to. And I
Well,
was like,
yeah.
wow,
I mean,
it's a
yeah.
revelation.
Yeah. I mean, and in Kevin Conroy, I mean, I don't think I've ever heard anybody ever say a bad thing about that man.
No, that guy was the priest.
No.
No, there's
Yeah.
no more wrestlers. Whoever at Brillo Pro, there's no Brillo Pro. I'm sorry. There's no more wrestlers this year. There's just Samoa Joe, who's there on Friday and Saturday, and Sergeant Slaughter. They're all 3 days. That's it.
Yeah. But
Sergeant Slaughter's a cool grab there. Got G.I.
Yeah.
Joe and everything.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh my God, I can't believe I'm excited
But-
for Sergeant Slaughter.
Plus, he's like a local legend. I used to see him all the time around here in the Fairfield County area. He'd have a
But-
big camouflage Hummer. That's what he used to drive around here. Or camouflage limo or something. He's a cool dude.
Yeah, but and I think the other thing that's really nice is that we've been going to the show for. I mean, I've been going a couple of years with the podcast and whatnot. It's always really nice when you see people who were there like the year before and everything, and
Yeah, like a
say,
family
hey,
reunion.
yeah, exactly. You're like, oh hey, and they're like, well, hey, and you're like you're not exactly like it's like you're a fan, but you're a little bit more. They're like you're it's not I can't, Leo, what am I trying to say? Is it you're not a fan, but you're not like family, but you're a work
You're a
colleague?
distant cousin. You're a weird cousin.
Yeah,
that
distant
comes.
cousin.
Yeah.
That they know your name too. Like,
Yeah,
it was
they
the
do.
coolest thing
They
ever
do.
when Neil Adams yelled out, "Hey Jeremy, how's it going?" I was like, "Oh my
You know
God,
what's
Neil
funny?
Adams knows who the fuck I am."
Some of my staff guys, they're like on a first name basis with these legendary artists and writers they grew up reading, and it's funny to watch them talk to each other. Sometimes on Facebook, I'll be like, "Oh look, so and so's talking to Howard Chaykin, and Chaykin's answering him back," and they all, and then I'll see Chaykin, "Hey, how's Chris doing?" I'm like, "Oh, Chris is," and he knows everybody by first name. You're like, "Wow, this is." It's always surreal. Every year, every day is surreal because I'll get calls from people I never imagined I'd be talking to, or they'll come to the show, and I'm just always like, "Oh my God, that's the guy that wrote whatever book I have near me." Like he's here, because I always step back and go, "Wow, this is really a cool job."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Carrie, tell him
Javier
about
Salteris has been trolling me since Terrificon last year.
Who?
Javier
Ghostwriter.
Salteris.
Oh,
it
the
Ghost?
artist, the ghostwriter. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
we
well, that's
we
cool.
talked to him at the show, and then he friended me, and we were
Nice.
asking him to come on here, and he keeps giving me thumbs up, but he will never agree to come on the show. He just keeps like, "Hey,
Oh, he's a
thanks."
nice guy. He's nice.
He's funny.
Yeah,
At
Carrie,
least he's
Yeah.
acknowledging you.
Carrie, tell Mitch
Yeah.
our plan to bribe
Oh,
your bribery plans.
yeah. Oh, I need to ask you, actually. This is
Yeah.
good segue. Okay, so I have been watching all of the people that I in particular want to interview on John's shows and other shows, and you've seen me ask, I believe,
Yeah,
on
I've
Word
seen
Balloon
your name
before,
pop up. Yeah,
like
yeah.
I'll be like, "Hey, what do you like to have at your booth at cons? Because I will provide it for you." So we have certain people that we're going to be bringing, like I believe Mark Wade gets
Diet
he
Coke.
gets Diet Pepsis, right?
Oh,
Diet Coke,
Diet
and so
Coke.
we're going to try to since it's Terrificon is Daredevil this year, working on trying to get some Daredevil like koozies or coasters or something like that for some of the
oh,
people that
I was
we've been
getting the
picking up.
Daredevil Coca-Cola cans. I was collecting those so far.
Oh, nice.
Um,
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Mine are, look at this. I just got this new, and there's no,
They got rid
they're
of it. No,
different.
the promotion ended on June 30th. Trust me. Here's the bad thing.
Yeah.
I saw those months ago, and I was like, "Oh, this is great! I'm going to stock the whole green room, and everybody will have them." You could do that with regular Coca-Cola, but apparently Coke Zero, which I was buying a lot of because I'm trying to lose weight,
That's what I
it
drink.
says
Yeah.
expired by July something. I go, there's an expiration date on Coke.
Oh,
What?
really?
Who knew?
That.
Yeah, so a lot of the Coke Zero stuff, it'll
Like,
be
what?
expired by the time of Terrificon, and I literally have the Hulk one, Nick
Mhm.
Fury, the Electra one. I'm like, well, that's going to get thrown out soon. But,
Right.
but
I got
think it was
Iron
cool.
Man and Captain Marvel, and that
I
was
was
about
trying
it.
to get them all. Yeah,
But
never saw.
All right.
so I'm going through though, and I'm like, okay, I saw the interview with this person, and they said something about a tiki bar. So I am going to go, and I'm going
Brian
to get
Azzarello.
a tiki.
Yeah.
Brian
Well, Brian
Azzarello.
Azzarello and
Okay.
Jason Aaron have both talked
Okay.
about tiki bars. So I'm like, okay, I got to get them some tiki things. It's like, what do you like? He's like, I like craft beer. So I actually got to ask you,
Oh.
sir, am I allowed to bring alcohol? I mean,
Yeah. I mean, somebody brought Ordway some brew from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, because Jerry grew up in a tavern. If you ever listen to our podcast, he'll tell you about his mother's bar, and Jerry lived in the back of it. And some guy brought Jerry in a 6-pack of some beer that they have in Milwaukee.
Wow.
So yeah, we've done that.
yeah, but
We've
I'm
got a
making all
guy
these.
that comes. What's that?
Oh, I'm making all these plans and sending everything off to Drew, or having things shipped to Drew since he's picking me up from the airport and driving me up there. To have like all of the different things for the fans, or for the fans, for
No,
the
I was going to say some of the weird stuff that people have
readers.
shipped in. We got a guy that comes from Australia. He's not coming this year, but he's sending a care package full of stuff for everybody. And that's coming
nice.
from around the world. But yeah, no, I mean, it's coming in hard and fast. We got like, 6 weeks to go? So
Yep.
I'm going to start getting packages, I'm assuming, at my house of things that I have to bring.
Do you have friends that send you books to get signed and stuff?
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And then the Funko Pops. And, when you see so-and-so, I go, whatever. I mean, literally, I'm sitting on a bunch of these. I'm not kidding you. See the right here? This is the guy, Kerry Jones, I believe his name is. He plays this character. Yeah. And I gotta get these signed for my buddy that are over here. Yep.
Nice.
So, and for myself, because I'm a dork, I went and bought the Daredevil action figure. I was going to
nice.
get.
Nice.
I know, loser. And hold on. And here's my Mark Wade. I was going to get that signed.
Oh, yeah. You gotta.
Oh, that's beautiful.
I have a box right by my side here of all my crap that I'm going to get signed.
Yeah, I have to start putting.
Nerd.
I have to start putting aside my books because.
Isn't this a Jason Aaron creation?
I believe so.
Wait. Is that? I think. No, is that
Electra,
the Electra? No, I think that's Chip Zdarsky.
Oh,
Wasn't
well,
that?
he's not this year.
Yeah,
I tried though. I tried getting him, but he does not come in this year.
Yeah, but
Bastard.
no, I especially that you have Adam Hughes, who I've been dying to
Yes.
meet for
That's gonna be a
ages.
line.
Oh, can you not? Okay, can you be encouraging, please, for once?
All right, there won't be a
All right.
line.
What's he
I'm
gonna
No,
do?
sorry.
I know.
Oh,
No.
there's a line for him, but he's very good about managing his line. And on the floor plan, I killed about 3 10x10 vendor booths that I could have made money at, but I just got rid of them because I wanted to have a nice, clear, open space so people could line up for Adam
Smart.
Hughes. The way he does it is you go up to him, and they do a commission list, and it's like, I want, Catwoman, I want Indiana Jones, and
Well,
they
yeah.
do it. And then Allison will color them if there's time. There's for another fee.
Oh, nice.
He'll do like a profile, and then she colors it. And they got a system. They work it.
Well,
So
yeah.
he'll be good.
Well,
Then he signs books, he sketches, he signs, he goes back and forth between the two. So.
yeah. I mean, the thing that we're especially really excited about is we've been doing a lot more of the live reads. So a lot of the people who we've done the live reads for are going to
Yeah.
be there. So we're hoping that we can kind of be like, hey, by the way, your book Krampusnacht that you did with Mike Mignola, we did a live read. Check this out. Shameless promotion. But it's going to be really great. So like I said, we're bringing back the A game. And Leo, should we maybe segue into the book we read?
Yeah, what book did you guys get this week?
Yeah, we did the Jason Aaron book, The Scrooge McDuck and the Infinity Dime.
Oh, the one that just came out? Oh, yeah. And, of
Uh-huh.
course, which one did I grab? The Scotty Young cover. I got that one.
Ah,
that
Good
one.
choice.
The Alex Ross Scrooge McDuck into the Gold Coins was also pretty solid.
Oh, that was an Alex Ross would be great.
Yeah, and then apparently the Gabriel Del Otto cover is like, there you go. See, I mean, Alex Ross can make anything. I've never seen.
I know. What are you telling me? That's like worth $50,000 now or something?
No,
probably.
No, the Gabriel Del Otto one apparently.
Really?
Yeah. So that's J. Scott Campbell. The Gabriel, that one for some reason I think is like kind of becoming a decently priced item.
Kidding. I saw him at that show I was at in Italy. I was trying to get him to come to. Well,
oh my God! If only.
No.
No.
We can skip that one.
No, that's the Frank Miller. I don't know what's going on with that.
No, we no idea with that.
What is that?
I don't know that one.
Todd Knopf or something?
It might be, because then I know one of them. Obviously, we'll know which one is the Peach Momoko, because you can't. That's Steve McNiven. That one I know is Steve McNiven.
Yeah.
That's the foil cover. That's Peach Momoko. Because I remember, because that's from the Disney Christmas Carol, and I love that.
Yeah.
So big fan there. And then I know one of them is the artist in the book. So I think it might be that one with all the different Scrooges, which is still great. But that's John Romita Jr.
John Romita Jr. Yeah, that's all right.
You can always tell because he just loves drawing his characters in the rain.
Yeah.
Or possibly wind. It's always hard to tell.
That's Walt Simonson.
Yeah.
Look at the signature that looks like a dinosaur.
And then there you go, Mitch. There's your cover.
My Scotty. Yep,
yeah,
I got
that's
that
beautiful.
Look at that.
So it's signed with the silver ink right across the top there.
Does it glow in the dark?
No.
I wish. No, that would have been Jar. That would have been super cool, man.
That's nice. Who's that?
I think that's a min.
Ani Granov. Isn't that Ani Granov?
I don't know, but I know there's one or two I missed, but that.
Oh, you got them all? Did you get all the variants?
No, but no, in terms of like naming them, but no, I'm a one variant kind of dude.
Yeah, I know, and I always have a tough time on Wednesdays picking which one I want.
Yeah, because for me, I would either do the Peach Momoko or the Alex Ross, because Alex Ross is just classic DuckTales.
I know. Last year I had that Don Rosa guy here that did a lot of those.
Yeah, and I loved his booth because he had that disclaimer explaining. Like,
DuckTales.
Yeah, he was like, I have to. And I was like, man, you must be asked this a lot then if you had to spell it out for him. But super nice guy.
He's like
but
a rock star in Europe, man.
Oh yeah. Oh well, from what I understand, serial books, stuff like that back in the day, they're huge in Europe.
Yeah, like
So,
Tintin.
yeah.
Stuff. Yeah.
We're getting a book
nice.
here.
Somebody's going to see Walter. Yeah, Chekhov's going to be there. Yeah.
Yeah, he is so nice. I met him years ago at a Star Trek con, and I did get an autograph from my dad. So do that because you never know. But yeah,
I think he's saying nuclear vessel.
Yeah, Wessel. Yeah.
But yeah, I've never read a Scrooge McDuck comic, so this is my first, and I thought Jason Aaron did a great job. Explaining.
I even thought his introduction was really, I was like spot on.
Yeah, it was really touching.
Yeah, well, I mean, again, you got to remember, I mean, the guy's done so much, and that's what you got to look at these creators who have been in the industry 10, 20, 30 years, and they've done fan favorite arcs that have been adapted into movies and shows, all that. Yeah, but it's nice when you see the personal project, because that's, and I think the other thing is it was fun, Yeah, we've seen this kind of thing before, multiverse, evil versions of oneself. I mean, we've seen that, but this was different and it was fun and it all kind of made sense,
Oh, it really did.
It's just funny because anytime I see Scrooge with his nephews, my head immediately will trigger the DuckTales theme.
Yeah.
So, so I'm just watching and I'm like this like a fairy tale. And I'm like, nope. We're in the middle of the episode. But no, it was great. The artwork was stellar. Jason really captured the voices of everybody very well. It's just funny because I think at the end when you have all the different Donalds fighting each other, I could just hear.
I thought that was the best.
Yeah, I was just like, oh, but it was
the
great.
Donalds.
Yeah, I just thought this whole book was fantastic, and I'm definitely going to get myself a copy so I can tell him in person how great it was and how long I've waited to meet you. Just the
the only character I was missing was Launchpad. I'm sure he was not an original character. That's probably why he's probably more of a DuckTales character. So
yeah,
but I thought with the airplane it would have been a great time to have him in. But
right,
took like maybe 10 minutes to read this. This was a fly through.
Yeah, it was fun. Then and sometimes
do you still shake when you meet some of these people and get tongue tied?
Oh yeah. Depending on who they are, because I'm trying to remember. What's funny, actually, one of your guests I got tongue tied with, and it was a celebrity. It was Katarina Law.
Oh,
when
Katrina
I met her. Yeah, Katrina Law. It was one of the few times I was like, I was like,
yeah, right.
She's a very stunning person. Yeah, absolutely.
She is. Yeah. Creator wise, yeah. I mean, I've met one or two that I was just like, gonna need a minute. Yeah. When I met Mike Mignola, I needed a minute. I was like, okay, let's go.
So, I was thrilled out of my mind to get. Sorry, I'm choking here. But I was thrilled out of my mind to meet the creators when I was there, but I couldn't get too overwhelmed and because I'm super short and Drew just grabbed me and drug me through Artist Alley and all of the vendors and everything. So it was by the time I got to go and meet somebody, I'm like, okay, just a minute. Okay, do you have time for an interview? All right. I'm just dripping sweat and
Carrie,
this tall.
Listen, in my defense, you're welcome. We did get there in record time.
Yes.
I
do appreciate
that. Howard Mackey.
Oh.
Yeah.
He's just the nicest guy ever.
Oh, he is. But I was like, I thought you were going to say it was some celebrity. I was like, who are you getting all sweaty?
No. Well,
there wasn't anybody. I was a Ghost Rider fan. That's what started me collecting comics to begin with. So yeah, it was like, you are the reason that I collect comics. So it is
Really?
awesome to meet you. And then Javier Salterius was there too. So I'm just like,
Yeah,
and you
yeah.
drew. And Jar had given me, so I was just like, I get these things autographed. And then Howard Mackey like gave me one of the big posters he was doing for a freebie thing, and that was something that
Yeah.
you were asking about shipping. Yeah, anything that got huge, the larger stuff, I had shipped home from there, and so like his poster I had mailed, and then some other larger things that I got.
And
But yeah,
and
he's just
don't
so
forget,
nice.
and then Dan was right next to
Yeah.
Howard,
Yeah.
so it was just and
Well,
it's funny you bring up
yeah.
the panels because Carrie, they had a panel there, and I guess there was some sort
Dark
of thing,
Side
but
of
Oh, yeah.
Carrie was just saving the thing with questions, and they all were like, "That was you. You were great," and Carrie was just like, the air was out, and now it's
Oh
back
yeah,
in.
I did the devil worship, the dark side of Marvel.
the
Wasn't
Dark
that
Side of
what it was?
Marvel.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Terry
That's me coming up
Kavanaugh,
with all those
Dan.
things. I'm always looking at it going, what haven't they talked about? Because I try to, I always say I do this show like if I was going to a show and what I would want to have them talk about. That's why when we did David Hayter, everybody wanted to hear about video games, but I was like, screw you, it's my show, I'm paying for it. I want to learn about X-Men and the Watchmen, and that's all
Yeah,
I
that
cared
whole
about.
crowd was there for Metal Gear.
I never played Metal Gear. They were like, we want to know about Metal Gear, and I'm like, yeah, you'll get your turn, but shut up a minute. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
But
No,
If you,
that was great.
I remember
if you
like
ever need a horror host, I'm there.
oh no, because I remember the Punisher. They're so controversial about the logo and what's happened to the character over the years. And Jerry Conway was at our show, and he created the character.
Right.
And then I had Carl Potts, who worked on like Punisher
Yep.
War Journal, and Jimmy Palmiotti there, and I had all
Yep.
these guys that worked on the Punisher at one point, and I was like, Jesus Christ, why don't I do a panel on that? And they could, and the question would be, because that was the question I had as a fan of the character over the years, what do you do now? I mean, how can you glorify murder? How can you glorify, how could you make this guy heroic when he's a psychopath? He's a vigilante and
Right.
he's a murderer. Where do you step in? Where does the hero worship come from a cold blooded killer?
Right.
And then there was like, well, you got these shows like Dexter, where it's a serial killer, but he's killing people for good because he's killing bad guys, but at the same time, he's a serial killer. It'd be like Hannibal Lecter is a monster, but where do you step over? But he's helping people at the same time, is he? So I had those guys up there, and I threw that. That was the topic. It's like vigilantism in comics, the Punisher, and there's other characters too, even Batman. When
Right.
does it stop? When does it go like over the line? Because you got cops out there wearing the Punisher logos on their jackets and their cars, and you're like, that's not who a policeman's supposed to be. He's supposed to serve and protect. That character is a murderer. That character is a guy who's out there for vigilante justice. That is not
Yeah, revenge.
a role model for somebody who's supposed to uphold the law. That's the antithesis.
Right.
That's the opposite of the law. And that's what I
Right.
want to know from the guys that wrote this, because somewhere along the line, their stories or the character got twisted and became this cult hero. That's not what it was supposed to be. And so it was
Right.
really good to watch that panel to hear them talk about it, because I mean they're the ones that wrote the story. They're not just reading it; they're the ones who are creating the stuff.
Absolutely.
So I like to do panels like that, and I did the actors panel because they're easy. It's like, oh, Star Trek, bang. Oh, this one, bang. But the comic ones, I kind of went through all the writers at my show, and there's a lot of them, and I'm trying to team them up. There's going to be a Daredevil panel. Obviously, you got Wade there, you got Jason there, you got, hey, what was it like to write Daredevil? Boom. But then there's some other panels that might be so niche, if you will, because it's like, oh,
Yeah.
I got this guy. What's it like to write Wolverine? What's it like to Charles Soule? You did the Death of Wolverine. I mean, what was that like? Because I remember Chaikin years ago. I was at a panel, and he said to me, we were talking, and he's like, the characters, you're in somebody else's sandbox. You can never reinvent the wheel. You're just temporarily moving them around. But when you leave at the end of the day, you have to put them back on the shelf just where you found them.
Yep.
And give the reader the illusion that they have read some kind of monumentous change in the character. So it's all a smoke and mirrors type of thing,
Yeah.
So
But
it's just
but
interesting to hear how these guys recreate the same stories
well,
again and again and again and again.
well, I mean that's something I always loved about your panels is that, like you said, they're very focused. But
Yeah,
they were pretty. Like I remember, what was it? One of my earliest ones. It was one where the late great Denny O'Neil
yeah.
was
How
there.
about the
And
Robin? About Robin, 60 years
yeah,
of
that
Robin.
and he just, I just
Yeah,
because it's funny because me and my partner was sitting there and
yeah,
we were just taking a breather. We're sitting there, and he just he just speaks. I'm like, "Are there any representatives from Warner Brothers in the
yeah,
audience?"
yeah.
And we all chuckled. He was like, "No." I was like, "That fucking shit
Yeah,
was
I
so
hate
ridiculous."
Robin. Yeah, yeah,
He,
yeah.
he just went so in,
Yeah,
and
he did.
we were just like, "Okay, Denny O'Neil still got
Yeah,
it." Like,
yeah, yeah,
don't.
yeah. I remember that. And Tim Seeley, who's coming this year, said, "How do you think he felt?" He's sitting there and he's writing Dick Grayson or Grayson, whatever the book's called. And there's a
Mhm.
kid, two kids in the front row dressed in Robin outfits, and there's Denny O'Neil go, "I fucking hate this character. I'm glad we killed him." And Starlin's like, "You've got me fired from the damn job because you blamed me when the corporate execs called and said, 'Whose idea was it to kill Robin?'" And Denny O'Neil goes, "Jim Starlin." Well, fire that guy. And Starlin's like, what the hell? So, but that getting fired is what led him going back to Marvel, which started the Infinity War, which started Thanos, and we all know how that turns out in the
Yep.
movies. So it's like everything comes together for a reason, But if it
Yeah,
wasn't for
absolutely.
Robin getting killed and Starlin getting fired, we might not have ever had the Thanos Infinity Gauntlet saga with Perez and Ron Lim and all
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
So you
But
never know, but this is what you find out at Terrificon because I didn't know that story, and I'm like,
absolutely,
"That's how it works." It's like,
absolutely. I,
you
I mean,
know,
it. Yeah, I mean, what was it? And like I said, that's why I will say, as a podcast, I love rewatching the stuff we record because
yeah,
it's one thing to sit, and then of course we can't all be everywhere. Like,
no,
we know Leo is very dedicated, but even he needs breaks. So
no, but honestly, all your panels and there's other folks too that tape them. That's the only way I get to see the show. I say it's like a wedding. If you're getting married, you don't see anything. You don't get to dance. You don't get to eat the cake. You don't get to see the whatever because you're like the star. So for 3 days, I don't see any of this stuff. I might tell you guys what the panels are going to be, and I might say the costume contest and all that. I literally have to wait till Leo or whoever else is done editing and post them on YouTube. And there I am like a dork typing in Terrificon 2024 in my search and go, ooh, and I get to watch my own show, and I go, "Oh, that was a good show. Oh, wow, that happened. Oh, geez, all right. Did the cops come? No. Okay, we're good. Yeah, all right, we're
all
good.
right, cool.
So
We can do this next year. Good, go.
we can do it
You
again.
know,
Yeah.
yeah, but no, it's always a good show, and no, I
Oh,
take that back. It's always
absolutely.
a great show,
It's a terrific
and
show, buddy.
yeah, yes,
Terrific.
maybe even fantastic or stupendous.
Might even be a terrific
Um,
con.
oh my God! Whoa, Jar, whoa,
It
whoa,
says it in the name. It says, see, terrific con.
yeah, yeah, Jar, you're getting hold of yourself, buddy. Pull it back, pull it back. Don't. You're already good with the bar, man. Calm down. No, it's always such a good time, man, and just thank you again. Having been to it for a while, there was a point I missed a year or two, but it's just always so much fun. And
I know,
the
right?
memories are solid. And like I said, everybody's having a good time. And it's so great because I've been to other really big cons. And sometimes you're like, oh, you never know what to expect. Like you'd have a great time, and
Yeah,
then there's someone who'll ruin that parade. But everyone is just pleasant and
they
having a
better
good
be.
time. And it's
They're gonna
just
go to
I,
Mitch
I
place.
I give it up to the amount of space that we have to be able to move around each other. Like
yep, being able to do this is great.
elbow
With
room that's one of the greatest things at Terrificon. I'm never like stuck like, all right.
Well, this year you might. There's too many damn people
Yeah,
there.
that's true.
Yeah.
Mhm.
If you hear
Yeah,
somebody kneecapping everybody around the room, that's Drew dragging me and my purse hanging off to the side,
I
smacking.
said, excuse me, we had to go, and I'm like Hagrid and you're Harry. So every one step for me is like three for you. So we had to get to do the interviews, Harry.
I
Okay.
do
And
You're a
know. I
wizard,
do know the
Harry.
secret. I do know the secret passages through the Mohegan Sun. to get around quicker.
Oh,
That's
the
why
behind
sometimes it's
the
like,
doors.
yeah, it's like, wait, he was over there, and now he's on the other side of the. How did he do that? It's like
Teleporting.
doubles. I have body doubles.
I almost
I
got in
knew it.
trouble because Matches was trying to take me through one of those tunnels, and I was just like, I don't think we're supposed to be back here.
No,
Yeah,
it's
sounds
okay.
about right.
You're with Matches. You're with Batman. It's okay.
You're
It's like,
okay, it's Batman.
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh shit.
Well, that,
I used to work at the casino, and yeah, those
Yeah.
tunnels you can get everywhere.
Oh, I remember when we took Kevin Smith, 2016, I think it was. I had to take him from his hotel room underneath everything to get to the Cabaret Theater to come up the back. You know, so you don't want to walk through the casino because everyone's going to stop
Yeah.
them. So
Oh, yeah.
we went through the back way. So I didn't know where we were going. So the guy hit the button, and we go to the bowels of the Mohegan Sun, like the bottom
Yeah.
levels, like the fifth floor, like Satan's down there. It's like, where are we? And Kevin Smith goes, "Where are we going?" I go, "I have no idea, man." And he goes, "I think I'm going to get whacked." I go, "Yeah, it feels like it, right?" And when the doors opened, someone had made a tape outline of a body on the ground as a joke, and he just looked at me, and I go, and he goes, "Oh my God, man!" I go, "Don't worry about it. Just keep going, Kevin." So we went up there. And he
That's
said, "What's that
that's
all
actually
about?" I go,
that's actually where I used to work was marketing.
where that chalk outline is?
yeah,
not
that's where
where
I used to work. You
chalk
want to draw the outline.
but it was way down there. The because
Yeah,
it's
it was
built
like
where the nuclear facility used to be.
What was there?
It used to be a nuclear power plant. That's why it goes down so deep, because they had to dig
Are
out so
you
much.
kidding me?
Yeah, they had to dig out so much land because of the.
Oh my God!
radiation.
I literally said that I'm like, where are we in a missile silo? Because when that elevator, we were way underneath. I'm like,
Yeah.
where are we, dude? Wow,
Okay.
did not know that.
There you
See,
go.
there's something right here on Splash Pages, right there.
There you go. Now we know. Now we know we got to go underground should something happen during
Yes.
Terrificon. We just gotta
Carrie's
preserve.
going to be close to radiation. She's going to grow to be like the 40-foot tall woman. It's going to be
That's a lot, Carrie. Carrie, that's a lot of Ratasca right there. That's a lot
Yeah,
of
That's a lot
squirrels.
of hair.
The,
Jeremy's actually going to grow those Jar Jar ears and stuff. So, he's loving this.
He's fucked.
I should book that guy, Ahmed Best, just so you can meet him.
Oh, dude, that would be great.
Jeremy meets Jeremy, or Jar Jar meets Jar Jar.
Oh my God, I would record the hell out of that meeting just to see Jar's face, because what was it? It was at your con. He won a Millennium Falcon, and I've never seen him happier. Like, I just walked back to our booth, and he's just
I want a Lego
shoving it
Millennium
up, like,
Falcon.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah.
The 501st. You won that big ass $800.
Yeah.
I remember you winning that. That was like
Thing was
2018,
fucking
2019. You were like, look
Yeah.
what I won. I was like,
exactly. I just come back, and he's just like, yeah.
Oh, I was such a bad winner too when I beat that girl. It was horrible.
you
They
beat
were
that
asking
girl.
us, like,
That's right. I threw her on the
I was just
ground.
like,
She's still
Yeah,
Did you ever put-
yeah,
did you
Jar.
ever put
I'm sorry. Yeah, you were not a good sport about it.
I
You told
remember
me
him
that
running
story.
down the hallways about that. Go, look what I won. I'm like,
Yeah, I
did
was
you
like,
ever put
Jar.
it together? Did you ever build it?
Yeah, I did.
You did?
Oh, he did.
It's back here. I picked it up. I'm always afraid I'm going to
It's
drop
huge.
that.
I don't know that.
Yeah.
I got the
It's like 4
Avengers
feet
thing
long.
back there, but that's about it.
4 feet long, like
Yeah.
1.5
It's
wide.
really that
Just-
long. Wow.
Yeah,
crazy.
it was. Yeah, he did a live build of it, Mitch. He was just like, I'm going to show
Really?
all of you. I believe, right, Jar? Didn't you record it or something? He did like a live.
I did do some recordings. I deleted them though, because like I just I couldn't get them to load the right way, and I I got screwed up. I'm not a perfect Lego builder.
Oh, I know.
I had to go
not
back and be
Leo.
like, God damn it.
I watch people build those things online. I go, oh my God, I don't know how you do it because I do it very
Have you seen the 3D prints that people are doing now?
My buddy actually is doing 3D printing. He bought one. He's retired now, and he's just been making stuff like crazy for Terrificon. So yeah,
nice.
All kind of stuff. Spoctopus is a new thing I saw the other day. Mr. Spock's head on an octopus. He said, "What's Spoctopus?"
I got a Spockzilla.
See, it's like that.
There's this one guy that I follow. He made a life-size Magneto. that's
What do you
like
mean?
hovering.
The helmet?
No. A statue, a life-size Magneto statue.
Oh, really? Well,
Yeah.
you're gonna see through the use of not 3D printing, but the Terrificon, Captain Terrificon. There's a big, like a Bob's Big Boy type of looking thing, like this thing.
Oh,
There
nice.
this year, the new statue. It's actually in the storage unit. I gotta go check on it. I hope it didn't melt because it's been so hot out. And I'm thinking, what do you
Seriously.
the Toxic Avenger meets Captain Terrificon. So that's going to be on display when you walk
whole
in.
nother
Hopefully,
show.
Nice.
it's all melted.
One of our sponsors over on the Owlite Network is Wicked Effects, and they're a 3D printer out of Ohio. They do a lot of haunt stuff, but they also they got a bunch of new 3D printing things. And for me, because I'm a big Hellraiser fan and such, I was like, okay, I really need a pinhead that you can put the pins in, but then take them out and have them be just the size of those little wooden skewers. So you can have like cheese sticks and skewers like sticking out of Pinhead's head for like a Halloween party or any kind of horror themed party. And then when he's not dispensing food, you go back through and put the pins back in. And so they're going to be working on that for me.
Andrew Robinson, who's going to be at the show.
Oh, she knows. Oh, she knows.
I had questions ready for last year. And
yeah, I know. His wife got sick at the last minute, so he had to cancel. But he's going to be there this year, God willing.
Oh, yeah. I'll tell you, Mitch, when we were dividing up, who does what, Carrie, there was Flash speech. It was like dibs. She was like,
we had the Dr. Brains or whatever the hell his name was. The guy that does Star Trek stuff. He's the voiceover guy, but he was in. It was a horror movie, Mr. Evil, Horror Evil. The guy that was there last year, I can't think of his name. Anybody, whatever.
I'm not sure, but you need to get Brad Dourif in at some point because
I know.
I've
been watching him for years since he was in Dune, and then of course he's Billy in Cuckoo's Nest. But the guy that I can't begins with a J. Oh my God, what the hell is his name? He was there last year.
Yeah, I know who. Yeah,
that guy.
Come on, Leo.
He's in the horror movies. There's a series of horror movies, like Dr. Mad Scientist guy.
I don't know who you're talking about. It was at one of Ben's shows.
And he's also he does the horror shows, but he also does. He's been in like every episode, every time in Star Trek. He's played every character. He's been a Ferengi. He's been a Romulan. He's been a Cardassian. I just can't think of his name right now. But anyway, I hope you got a chance to interview him last year, but maybe you didn't. So
no,
and he sat down with me in the green room. I said, "Hey, how's it going, buddy?" And we just started
Jeffrey
talking
Combs.
Jeffrey Combs, that's it. Yes,
there you go. Reanimator, yeah.
Reanimator, that's the series of movies he's in. Yes.
Got it.
He was a cool guy. I've had a horror guy. Tony Todd's been here a couple times. He's from
Connecticut.
I couldn't get him this year. He's going to another nearby show, but we can't double book. But maybe
he's another wicked nice guy.
Yeah, very nice.
So great. Yeah,
I saw him I was doing an interview with him, and out of the corner of our eyes, this girl we know, Nikki, I can't remember her last name, but she's wearing this like bee kind of thing, and like she's all excited to see him and stuff like that. And he just stopped the interview for a second, like talked to her, and like it was
like a
really sweet
type of thing.
Yeah. It was really sweet to see him take his time with people like
who was the sweetest guy, and you think he wouldn't be? Well, I don't know why you wouldn't think, but Derek Mears, who was one of the was Jason's or the ski mask guy? I can't think of.
He was Jason. Yep.
He was Swamp Thing too on the TV series, but such a sweet guy, dude. I mean, he's gigantic. I mean, he's got to be like 6'7" or something. He's a really tall dude, but very nice guy.
I always find horror people
was there last year, right?
The most pleasant.
No, that was the other tall guy that was in the New Mutants, and then that Zack Snyder movie. I know who you're talking about. He was in the Obi-Wan Kenobi TV show. Dustin Creederhammer or something like that.
Yeah, but I will say I'm so excited you have Kobe Smulders coming.
Because I know Kobe's
Because I've been a fan of her since How I Met Your Mother, which that's oh my God. I actually have a friend who I call Sherbatsky. And she got to meet Kobe, and she's like, "Oh yeah, I'm." It's just like, "Oh my God, that's so nice."
Oh, really?
So
You know, here's a funny story. I got to meet her in 2011.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, the Avengers had a panel at New York Comic Con, and it was coming out the following year, 2012. And they had Captain America there. They had Agent Coulson. They had Mark Ruffalo. And I told this story before. I wasn't supposed to be there. My phone was dead. I had to charge it. I had my press pass, and they let me into the press room to use the power because I said, look, I got to call my wife. I got to get a train. And they're like, yeah, all right, go ahead. So the press room was closed for the day. So they let me in. I opened the door, and there are the Avengers just sitting there. Tom Hiddleston and all this. But there's no Avengers yet. They hadn't made the movie come out yet. They were just talking about, and there's Kevin Feige's in the room. And they all turn to look at me, and I go, hey, what's up? And I just sit down trying to be calm. I pick up a newspaper, and I'm waiting for my phone. I'm waiting for the little Apple logo to come on. I'm like, oh, my God, it's the Avengers. What am I going to do? And it comes on, and I go over there, and I meet them all because they go, oh, you're press. You're supposed to be in that line. I go, what line? The press line, the receiving line. I go, I am? Yeah. So they just take me, and they put me in a spot. And they go, here, when they come up, you got 2 questions to ask all the celebrities, one at a time. And I had nothing prepared. And I recorded it and put it on a podcast I was on years ago. I'm making this stuff up as I go. I mean, you can tell I have nothing prepared whatsoever. And I remember Tom Hiddleston was like 6'3", really tall, but he's a close talker. Like he's like English close. And he was like about this far away. I go, is this guy going to kiss me? What's going on? And he's coming in close like, hello, who are you? I'm tall. And I remember, and Evans. But the funnier one was Colby Smulders was at the end. And I never watched, don't tell her, I never watched How I Met Your Mother. So I did not know who she was. And I had finished all the interviews, and this woman comes up to me, very lovely woman comes up to me and says, hi. I go, hey, what's up? She's like, you want to talk to me? I go, I don't know, do I? She goes, don't you have any questions for me? And I said, I do, but I'm probably going to get slapped if I say it. And she's like, what? I go, what are you talking about? She goes, what are you talking about? I go, I don't know. Why? What are you talking? She goes, don't you know who I am? I go, I'm sorry, I do not. And she goes, oh, you don't know who I am? I go, no. And the Australian camera crew there, the guy's laughing. And I'm looking, I'm like, bro, who is this? And he's like, that's Colby Smulders. I go, what is that? He goes, How I Met Your Mother. And I go, I don't watch that show. And he goes, and she's like, well, I go, what are you going to be in the next Marvel movie? Because you're not Black Widow. And she's like, no, I'm Maria Hill. I go, oh, S.H.I.E.L.D. agent Maria Hill? I knew. As soon as she said that, I knew who that was. I'm like, oh, I know who Maria Hill is. And she's like, yeah, I'm playing the part. I'm like, oh, okay. And then I go, oh, well, that's all right. You could talk to this guy here because I feel stupid now because I didn't know who you were. So she's like, you really don't want to talk to me? I'm like, no, that's okay. So all these years later, it's like the little bunny rabbit on the side of the road. You pull the thorn out of the lion's paw. You never know who you're going to meet. So here we are, 12 years later, 13 years later, something like that. She's going to be at my show. So I can go right up to her and say,
I know who you are.
Yeah, I know who you are now. Yeah, you're the lady. So that's my wife goes, don't tell her that story.
See, I would think the same thing to be able to tell her. I'd be like, by the way, I'm the guy that like totally screwed up the last time that we met.
Yeah.
My wife.
Oh, I've done it. I've done it with other people too. I've done it with what's the John Bernthal. I've done it with him and Andrew Lincoln. When the next day, The Walking Dead was going to premiere. The next day on Sunday, and it was Saturday, and Rooker was there. And we were at this round table, and Kirkman sits down with Frank Darabont. And I only wanted to interview Darabont because he did Shawshank Redemption, and I was a big fan of his. And I didn't know Kirkman. I'd never read The Walking Dead, though I knew Marvel Zombies. And so they sit down, and I'm talking to Frank Darabont the whole time, and I don't even have one question for Kirkman. And then he goes, you want to ask me anything? I go, who are you? He goes, I'm Robert Kirkman. I go, and what did you do? He goes, wrote The Walking Dead. I go, what is that? He goes, it's about like zombies. I go, yeah, I don't read that horror crap, man. Good luck with that. So they get up,
God damn.
and then who sits down but Andrew Lincoln and John Bernthal, and I don't know them from anything. So
Right.
everyone else left too. Everyone got up and left, and I'm packing my backpack up because I got to go interview somebody at Lucasfilm. And he goes, Bernthal goes, where are you going? So I got to go. I got a Lucasfilm interview. You don't want to talk to us? I go, no. Who are you guys? And he goes, well, I play Shane, and he plays Rick Grimes. I go, Rick who? And he goes, Rick Grimes. And I go, what's your deal? He goes, oh, yes, I'm an Atlanta sheriff. And I go, what, an accent like that? And he goes, well, I'm an actor, so I pretend to be somebody from Atlanta. And I go, well, I hope you're good at it. And they go, seriously, you don't want to talk to us? I go, no, guys, I wish you the best of luck, but I really got to go. Zombies, I don't know. I don't like that stuff. Whatever. And Berthel's like, brother, come on, man. I got to pay my mortgage. What are you doing? I'm like, good luck, good luck. So I left. And, of course, The Walking Dead becomes The Walking Dead. A year later, I'm back at New York Comic Con, and I'm doing press interviews again. And they say, oh, you could get to do the Walking Dead panel. So I go in there. There's Andrew Lincoln. And I'm like, oh, no. Oh, no. And Andrew Lincoln's looking at me, and he comes around the table. He's like, have we met? I'm like, no, we haven't met. Goes, no, I recognize you. Don't I know you? And I'm like, yeah, last year. He's like, what? I said, last year you were here. I left. I didn't want to interview you. Oh, that's right. You're the chap that couldn't give us the time of day. I was like, no, it wasn't like that. He goes, I bet you're kidding yourself now, aren't you? I go, yeah. And he goes, well, I got to go. And he walked away and left me. I was like, you son of a bitch.
You never know, man.
So I have to get Andrew Lincoln to come to my show someday, just so I can get him back.
I have faith in you.
Now I remember.
You've been doing great for so long. I have faith in you.
That's all this is. That's all Terrificon is. It's my secret revenge plot. Now the secret's revealed. I don't care if we make money.
It's a 20-year plan.
I don't care if you guys have a good time. I don't care if anybody out there. I'm just getting revenge on these actors.
There you go. All right.
I still haven't seen The Walking Dead, so I could walk up and say, I'm sorry, I don't want to interview you. I have no idea who you are.
You never watched The Walking Dead?
That's
No,
shocking.
Wow, that one is shocking.
Person.
I am a horror person, but
you would have loved.
Yeah, it started off after the governor stuff. It got shaky, and then it was like,
yeah.
I gave it a shot, but it had to do with when it was released and the person I was with when it was released, because he really wanted to watch it, and I wanted to spend as much time not near him as possible.
oh.
So it kind of became one of those, like, you associate it with a person things, and now maybe I should go back and watch it. And I do remember, though, like, I do remember seeing a couple scenes, like the one where he's riding the horse into town and then the zombies are on the bus. Because when I was taking care of my grandparents, and this was another thing, I was taking care of my grandparents for a decade there while I was on. And Grandma would be watching that, and she'd think it was a Western. And then I'd have to be like, oh, no, Grandma, this isn't. And, like, the zombie, and she's like, I'm watching it. And then, like, zombies would get off the bus, and she's like, change the channel real quick. So it just was inconvenient to get around to watching, but I'll watch it eventually.
I'll put Michael Rooker right up next to you and say, this is your number one fan, Mike. She loves The Walking Dead. Oh, yeah, really? Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't know.
I can't.
Rooker would eat her alive.
Rooker will destroy you.
He would, but he's still very popular.
I got an in
He's
with
still
him.
very popular, y'all.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He's Yondu.
I have stories about him.
I loved him in the 90s. I always thought if they made a Fantastic Four movie back then, he would have been a good Ben Grimm, like back in his prime, like in the early 90s and stuff.
Yeah.
Because he had that look and that sound. I'm like, he would have been a good thing. And not Michael Chiklis, you know.
He totally would have. But
he was too soft.
The actor they have, the actor they have now for Thing.
Yeah, from the
bear.
The bear. That guy, yeah. Well, I was talking about that with Ordway. Ordway says it's probably just going to be mostly voiceover. I'm like, yeah, but still, I mean, Ruffalo's the Hulk, and, you know. You see
and Bradley Cooper was Rocket. I mean, it's doable. I mean, you can still.
I didn't realize the kid from Stranger Things was English as well. I saw him on an interview. The kid's playing Johnny Storm, and he's got a British accent. I'm like, what the hell, man? I thought he was going to be like this, like
for a loop, right?
yeah, I thought it was going to be like a surfer boy, that blonde-haired kid that's playing Johnny Storm. He's like, oh no, I really love the character. I can't wait to play him.
Well, I just watched an interview or a little documentary, like a 15-minute thing about Andy Serkis and how his starting with Gollum and then going on with all the other things he did, his acting into it basically started a whole new form. They called it a new form of acting, but to be able to have all the facial things and stuff, so that it isn't just your voice, it's your movements and everything are recorded very detailed.
Yeah.
Oh, some people get real serious about that. They'll be like, it's not voiceover, it's mocap. Just like, okay, I'm sorry.
I can't wait to see the fan. You know what I should do a panel about? I just thought about it now. We should do a panel about the Deadpool Wolverine movie. Like, because by the time we do Terrificon, it'll be out for 2 or 3 weeks. So we should be like, did Deadpool really save the MCU? Let's talk,
Oh boy. Dibs.
It'll definitely be a #1 movie for a few weeks.
I think
I'm actually excited
Leo's
to see
not
it.
in his head like, oh, well, there's a episode we're going to do on the show right here. Thanks, Mitch.
Oh, we stole it now.
Knew it.
You know what? I say that to you because I think I am the oldest person on the show. And no offense to Rob Liefeld, I like Rob. I don't like Deadpool, the character. I never cared for.
I don't like him as a comic book
like
character.
The movies. I don't.
Oh, really?
I mean, I get they're funny, I guess, but it's just so over the top. Maybe it's just Ryan Reynolds. I didn't like him as Green Lantern. I mean, just it gets. I don't know. I just don't like him. And
I don't like the comic book Deadpool, but I'm a big fan of the movie Deadpool.
Really?
It's very. When I went into going to see the movies, just like this is, and it's turned out to be my favorite of all the Marvel stuff. Well, not all of it. The Civil War and stuff was really good.
And Madam Web, you can't top Madam Web. That's
Madam Web.
I bought the Steel book. I really did, just to screw with people. They're like, you spent my
Yeah, Madam Web. You mean Leo Stewart movie? Oh man,
the only one that bought it. I think Dakota.
Didn't it go to like Netflix or whatever? Like,
it's already. It was on like half hour. Dude, by the time I left to go to the bathroom during the movie, it was already on Netflix. I was like, what's happening?
Right.
And I actually fell asleep in it. And Ordway and Franco, the artist, they had to kick me and wake me up. And I missed like the only fighting movie. And Ordway's like, you wake him up. He'll be pissed if he misses it. So.
I can't bring myself to watch it. I'm still recovering from sitting through all of Morbius.
We sat through Morbius in the movie. And the thing of it is, I even have Morbius statues around here somewhere. I love that character. That was one of my favorites. I don't know what that movie was. I was like,
and it's funny because my partner recorded me as I was watching it, and she said that, and she showed me the videos. I was like, wow, you can really see me getting more and more annoyed as the movie's going on.
Yeah,
like I'm just like,
how could
I
you
use
screw
your
this
movie
up?
reviews so I don't have to go watch these ones.
How could you screw this up? I go, it's based on a comic book. If you just took the damn comic book out and just adapted that, you'd be already halfway there. It's not that much, and then he's got to make the effects look like something.
But, well, that's the problem with a lot of these movies. You get a producer or director that want to put their own spin on things. They're not using the source material.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
You're not reinventing the wheel.
No, but I just Wolverine's gonna come in. They're gonna save the MCU, whatever, and of course they're gonna put Wolverine back where they found him. So he's gonna go into Logan and that whole story. They're not gonna change that movie. But I'm wondering, when are we going to get the X-Men, the Marvel Studios X-Men movie? And because you're going to recast Wolverine. Obviously, you can't have 60-something-year-old Wolverine running around. But I just want to know how it all ends. I just want to get to. If you gave me a book right now and said this is how the last Marvel movie comes out in 2035 or whenever it is, I would give you anything. I just want to get to the last page and see how it all together.
You just want to know. Right.
I just want to know. Yeah. Like the Emperor came back in Star Wars. Who knew? I didn't want to know that.
Right.
Somehow he
I'd like to know.
Somehow.
Just
Yeah, I
happened.
love that writing.
Somehow.
Hey, we're gonna have to explain how the Emperor's come back. Nah, just write somehow. Oh, okay.
The dark
I'll
side.
accept that.
The
Fans
Are- are-
really, really like that too.
Yeah, they like
dark side.
Well,
Are
imagine
you-
if they do that with this movie, with Wolverine and Deadpool, and at the end of the movie they go, he wakes up in a shower, which is like a Dallas reference if you're old, and they just wiped out the entire last season, and it was just a dream.
Yep.
All those bad MCU movies you would just watch, the Shang-Chi, the Eternals,
Who killed
it was,
JR?
don't worry.
Yeah,
Captain America's still alive. It's
gonna be
a dream.
it's gonna be the Saint Elsewhere. You know, it was all just a dream.
Yeah, it was in a snow globe
A
on some
snow
kid's
globe, yeah.
shelf. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. One
I
may
don't know. I think they just made too many too fast. We knew it was coming. I mean, honestly, you were just sitting back waiting for the other shoe to drop. Like, you know, they're not going to hit them all out of the park. You're going to get some weird hits, and it started shaking apart. You know, even if COVID didn't come and screw up the movie theater business, I don't think these movies were ever going to hit like $1 billion box offices. Some of these things.
no,
Like,
it was it was inevitable because you play all
It
your
was.
big characters, then you gotta harvest
Yeah.
from your B or your C
The
listers. Which,
Yeah.
and again, if they're done right, like no one knew who the hell Guardians was, and then now
know.
everyone knows. Well, you know.
Well, I got Moon Knight all over here. I love Moon Knight. That's always been one of my favorite characters. I couldn't wait for that miniseries, and I still am waiting because it was interesting, but it wasn't great. You know,
Yeah,
I don't know what. It was.
I mean, I liked it, but I agree with you. Like this
Well, he
phase,
wasn't in it enough. There wasn't enough Moon Knight. I was like, dude, I
No.
want to see the Moon Knight. I want to see him beat the hell out of somebody, do something
Right.
heroic.
Right, and it's the same way I feel about Blade. Like I'm a huge Blade fan because of what Wesley brought. I mean, not the third one. But now, but all these delays,
That's
I was
Ryan
like,
Reynolds. That's why you don't like the third one. Again, Ryan Reynolds' fault. Yeah.
I was
There
just
it
like,
is.
yeah. But like I said, it's just it's still because of the delays and everything. And I'm like, at this point, you're just gonna keep delaying it, and by the time it comes out, no one's gonna care.
No, what is it? 2027 now or 2026?
Yeah, some
what the hell?
ridiculousness.
And it's just a vampire story. It's not that hard. I go,
Thank
guys, I
One of
could
them walks
literally
during
go
the
pick
day.
up my Tomb of Dracula right over there. It's on my shelf, the omnibus, and get the Blade stories out of it. And it's not that hard. You know?
Right. Yep. That is what it
I'm
is.
waiting for
And
a
it'd still be
Deathlock movie.
entertaining.
I want
Yeah.
a Deathlock movie,
Huh.
like they did that Werewolf by Night thing, like a one-off episode, like give me a futuristic alternate world Deathlock from the 70s where it's like, you know, all the world's come to shit and he's running
Right.
around with half his rotted face with the computer and he's got the gun.
Yep.
Boom. I don't care. I want to watch that freaking movie, you know?
Right. It ends up in the present, aka his
Yeah.
past, and it's just like boom. Perfect way to segue him into the MCU.
Marvel has had
Yeah.
so many weird off-kilter characters. It's like, dude, do that. You know, you don't need to do these big phases.
Yeah.
Just do one-offs, you know? Go back and do
Right.
this cool shit.
And then you can tie them all into one big movie. Kind of like what they did with the Avengers.
If they
You
did
know?
a man thing, look, Werewolf by Night, they got the man thing on it. I'm like, you should have done a Morbius like that and done your Legion of Monsters and just had all of them like in these little 1 hour black and
Mhm.
white.
And then you
movies,
have
right,
and then you have your Midnight Suns, which would make Carrie's
Oh,
dream.
yeah, and then the Ghost Rider comes in. Yeah, you could have done that. I mean,
Yeah.
you only get one shot at these things. That's what disappoints me because, well, Fantastic Four, they've had 4 shots almost, or Batman. It's like once you screw this up, you really got to wait a long time to get the bad taste out of people's mouth to really, you know, start again from scratch. You know, so
Totally.
Well, we still have a huge giant sticking out of the earth, according to.
I know the end of the Eternals at that hand. I'm like,
Yeah.
does anyone not realize that? We're just gonna go around that.
Yeah, I think we just keep ignoring it. It's like, yeah, we're just gonna pretend that's not there. I'm
Or
just like,
what's the name? Harry Styles shows up as Star Fox at the end. I'm like, that ain't coming out. And Pip the Troll, that's never gonna happen. It's like,
No.
no. Or Hercules,
Yeah,
guy Brett
Hercules.
Goldstein as Hercules, that ain't happening. Maybe.
yeah,
I doubt.
I was sad. I remember I was like, oh, come on.
Right?
I love Marvel's Hercules.
Yeah.
Like give me the Greg Pak, Fred Van Lent Hercules.
Yeah.
If if they made that a show, I would 100% watch that.
Why don't they make more shows? I got my Disney Plus subscription. I don't know what I'm paying every month for, other than like the Acolyte and X-Men '97. Now there's like nothing coming on for a while. I don't think, you know.
No,
no Mandalorian, nothing, you know.
What do you think of Acolyte?
The Acolyte. Well, there was a. I don't want to spoil anything, but there's one bad guy fighting 7 Jedis. I'm like, man, these Jedis must be really lame if they can't take out one dude with a red lightsaber. But
thank you.
Yeah, I was just staring at that, going, seriously?
It's his powerful helmet.
Yeah, and that was the funniest thing. The only guy walk around with a big backpack, and then you're fighting a bad guy with a big ass helmet. I'm like, hey, I wonder if it's the guy with the backpack. Just saying.
Yeah, right.
Just saying, you know. What do you got in the backpack? Oh, some sandwiches and a big Sith helmet. Don't look too close. Okay. Weird.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's interesting. I mean, it started off slow, but it's. I'm gonna go watch it after we're done and see how it wraps up.
Well, what I was gonna say is we can wrap that up now because we know you got a lot going on.
I'm gonna go buy stupid flights for people too.
Yeah. So we'll let you go, but thank you so much again for coming on, Mitch. It's always great, and we can't wait for August is going to be here before we know it, and we're super pumped. So
6 weeks.
Bring an A game.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I was just sorry. Somebody's like, "Hey, where's tickets? I need tickets." I'm like, "Wait, what now?"
Yeah, it's all good. Don't worry.
So go to Ticketmaster.
Yeah, I know, right? That's why I just stopped. I go, what do you mean you want tickets?
Yeah. All right, Leo, do the thing.
Yeah, so we'll let you go, Mitch. I want to thank you so much for joining us this evening. Where do you like people interacting with you on the socials?
Oh, on the socials. Oh, I was gonna say. Then I get the Mitch face like, "Don't talk to me." Where the Terrificon website, and then from there you could go to the Power Cosmic, which I got to go put the episode up. Mitch and Ed's Excellent Adventure on YouTube. I think that's it. Or just go to the Terrificon page. Anything that's on the Terrificon page, there's all the social media links, the Instagram and Twitter and Facebook. I answer all the emails. So if you write to that on any of those platforms, the response you're going to get is from me. So don't worry about it. I'll see it. So just go to Terrificon. Don't come to my house or call me on my phone. They do that, Big mistake. Never use your personal phone as your business phone. Boy, did I learn that lesson. Dang, is Terrificon? Yeah. Who's this? Seriously, the guy that owns it? You're answering your own phone? Yeah. Ooh, that's
nice.
Hey, can you get Harrison Ford to come to the show? No. How about Mark Hamill? No. You suck. No, you suck. And then it's just
we'll let you go, Mitch. I would ask, there's a leave studio button on the bottom. When you hit that, it'll bring you to an uploads page. If you can just let it finish the uploads. If you have any issues, we can send a link afterwards. But that's how we get the individual recordings.
Okay, now I know. I can tell Suntress.
Yeah,
indeed. Totally. Please do. Pop his word balloon.
I will leave and go watch the end of the Acolyte and go buy and spend money. And I want to see all you people at Terrificon, especially you, Carrie. You better be there.
I will.
Oh,
booked
she's
it
there.
in February. I've got a hotel room. I got the flights. I got everything ready to go. I'm all over it.
Jeremy, don't be surprised if you're hosting some more panels. I got to find out who's doing what in a couple weeks. So
hey,
keep you off the streets, buddy.
Thanks.
All right.
I appreciate it.
All right, bye, kids. I'll see you in about 6 weeks at the show. Go to Terrificon.
Have a good one.
August 16th to the 18th. I need the money so I can keep making more of these things. Come on now. Come on.
Come on.
Thanks again, Mitch.
Right, thank you again, bud.
Hey.
And then with that, there are 4.
Yeah.
All right, let's do this. I told you.
So he said I'm doing panels, huh?
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
Okay, Jar, I need to say this. If you need a spotter, I got you.
I'm going to need you all. It's like at the end of Labyrinth. Should you need us? Of course I need you. Come on, dance magic, dance
that's
magic.
That's all you had to say. and then Goblin Party. You know, nothing says friendship like your room being filled with goblins and elves and weird shit from Jim Henson's mind.
Oh,
It's like a,
yay.
it's like a yard sale for your nightmares.
Yes.
So, indeed. All right. So I'd say, I know we have a short news stuff. Let's just blow through it and call that a night. Because literally, I just kept checking the time, and I was like, we definitely ran past, but I was like, I just can't stop listening to his goddamn stories. So
It was definitely great discussion, but yeah, we'll breeze on through this. But first, we have this.
Actually thought
Hey,
you were going to
everybody.
a commercial.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Variant Watch. And I'll be your variant lifeguard, keeping you safe while you're looking through what covers we have ready. And first up. Yeah.
Terrificon.
So, there are a new opponent in the Marvel world. We are now celebrating the King of Monsters, aka Gojira, aka Godzilla, battling so many more of Marvel's greats in their latest collection of variant covers. 15 new Godzilla variant covers will be available on select Marvel issues this September. So as you already know, that they are reprinting the classic the 1970s Godzilla series with the Godzilla issue 1 facsimile edition, and the Godzilla, the original Marvel Years Omnibus, which collected Doug Mensch and the late great Herb Trimp's entire 24-issue run in color for the first time. So celebrating this collaboration with Toho International. Yeah, Godzilla variant covers. These will be available through September to October 2024. Just various degrees of greatness. Yeah, I really can't think anything more to say, but some of these I'm like, awesome. Some of these I'm like, fine. Some of these I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
You know.
That one's pretty dope. Yeah.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
Venomized Godzilla? No.
Nah, everything's Venomized. I like that.
Yeah, I like this one too.
That's cool.
So that's what it's like to have Wolf.
Oh, that's awesome. That is fucking cool, man. I like that one. And then we're back to the beginning. So
now,
15 covers.
They just do this over at DC? Not the variants, but they just had Godzilla versus and King Kong versus the Justice League.
The Justice League. Yeah, everyone's getting a slice of that kaiju pie, my man. Yeah. So if you like what you saw, keep an eye out on these variants. Again, September, October 2024. So next up,
we have
Dazzler.
The one,
Dazzler.
The only.
Yeah, hold on.
So
yes, Drew.
What's wrong, Leo?
Well, I was going to say, I was going to do the preamp so when we see the cover. So as we know, X-Men is entering a new era, the From Ashes era.
No,
and they
Leo, I updated this. Remember, this is part of Variant Watch, the Dazzler stuff.
Dazzler's part of it. I'm sorry. That's
you said that you re-downloaded. So yeah.
I got
okay, confused. Big guy.
I got confused. Hold on.
I realized what was going on there. I'm like, no. Wait.
Okay, there we go.
Okay. So as we know, the X-Men are seeing a new era. So we're moving from the Krakoa age now to the From Ashes era. So among the many new series that are coming out, one of them is a return for a mutant kind's pop princess, aka Alison Blair, aka Dazzler, whose new fame is attempting to reunite the masses, but also painting a target on her back. So she has a new book by Jason Liu, who gave us Sentry, Infinity Paws, and a new Marvel newcomer, Raphael Lauriero. Dazzler kicks off this September, and we have 3 new variant covers. So you had a piece by Yasmin Putri. You had a special window shades cover by Marguerite Savage, both depicting Dazzler hitting the road. And then I believe there's also an additional one it's the foil variant cover, which shows, I believe, her 80s costume, which we've already seen. So that's, I believe, the window shades variant, which is gorgeous. That one, I believe, that's Yasmin Putri.
And then this first one, they gave Dazzler some freaking hips.
Yeah, that's because that's her costume in the 80s. So
she's just like pow.
Yeah, exactly. So I was just like, wow. 1 second. But yeah. So trying to because I actually wait a second. Oh, that's Kare Andrews. That's the foil variant cover. So that's her in her 80s costume. So that's the same guy whose latest book, Spider-Man Reign 2, will be launching very soon. So same artist. But yeah. So okay. But yes, Dazzler, issue 1 kicking off this September. So, that plus will we see Taylor Swift be the character in the upcoming Deadpool Wolverine? We'll find out. Rumors apply.
I doubt it. I hear the rumors, but I doubt it.
Well, she did have her
I
own
wouldn't be
comic
against
recently.
it, though, mind you.
Right. So what's the next? And I believe there's one more Variant Watch.
Oh, was there another one on Variant Watch?
Yeah. There's the Neeks cover with X23.
Oh, that's the news I'm covering.
No, that's a variant. It's not a.
Oh, okay. Well, Leo, do you want to pull up the last part of the news first?
Because you were covering the Mystique one.
Mystique is
Leo
also
Mystique.
Yeah, Mystique's actually a variant as well.
No, Mystique is a series.
It's a series, but the cover is also. Never mind.
Yeah. So this is W. Scott Forbes's cover for Nyx issue 3, which highlights X23, aka Laura Kinney, her debut. So this one is the tone and the style of that original appearance. So that's essentially her and her kind of throwback to her early appearances, alongside what is missing posters of the original Nyx cast. So that was a book back in the early 2000s, I believe, that essentially celebrated, it was a young mutant team. So it's kind of like, think X-Men without Xavier, if that makes sense. So the synopsis for the series is with the Xavier school gone, Krakoa destroyed, New York is going to get a huge influx of mutants, and we're going to see a group of former X-Men kind of navigating young adulthood, discrimination, and threats. And this is by Colin Kelly and Jackson Lanzig, who we've seen. They did the Timeless, Alien Black and White, and Blood, and they're doing the current Outsider series. They're everywhere. And rising star Francesco Mortarino, who did Avengers, Cult of Carnage, Misery. So, I mean, the cover itself is gorgeous. So, yeah, and this will be available, the cover and the book, September 25th. So
September, I'll be gone.
Yeah, September is a very busy month.
It is.
You can get the first comic in the series though on July 24th.
Indeed. But yeah, so so if you're a big fan of X23, something to look forward to. And I believe that is it for Variant Watch. So
Yes.
Are you sure?
I'm
I
fairly
screwed that all
positive.
up too.
It's okay. So I believe there are 2 more stories, so I will let Jar and Carrie take it from there.
Should be 3
fight
more.
you for
But
Drew's
actually
News, Drew's
Leo
News, exciting tales,
and
fresh comic
Carmen.
views. In the pages, heroes fly, villains fly under the sky. From Gotham's dark to Metropolis views, we cover stories old and new. Drew's News, your daily source for comic clues. Join the fun, it's a heroic cruise in the world of Drew's comic news.
Yep, no Drew's News for me.
Oh,
I did very watch.
He's trying to push us through fast.
All right.
well, we're
All right,
actually long now.
Yeah, I know.
We're going.
I know.
All right.
Which was a great interview.
Indeed. All right. So, Carrie, this is you because you have fondness
No.
for the character.
No, this is
But
Leo.
before that, we assigned it to Leo, so it's Leo's news.
Do you
okay.
do you want to take it though, Carrie?
No, because I didn't write down the stuff for it. So
Okay.
High five.
Okay, let me just make sure. Yeah, there's only one image. Okay, so Mystique takes center stage in a new solo series. This October, the elusive shapeshifter Mystique headlines her own series set in the X-Men's upcoming From the Ashes era. Award-winning creator Declan Shalvey, who has done Moon Knight, Dead Man Logan, both writes and illustrates this tale of action and espionage, delving into the dark corners of the Marvel Universe. So if you're not up to speed, the From the Ashes era is the current era in X-Men comics. It marks a fresh beginning of the transformative Krakoa age, and it introduced 3 ongoing series by Jed MacKay and Ryan Stegman's X-Men, Gail Simone and David Marquez's Uncanny X-Men, and Eve Ewing and Carmen Canero's Exceptional X-Men. So each series offers a unique perspective on the X-Men, bringing them into a new world. And so here's the official synopsis for the new Mystique book. Nick Fury faces a perplexing challenge. How do you track somebody with a contradictory past, ever-changing motives, and the ability to be anyone? As he unveils or unravels a web of deception, all paths lead to Mystique. In the wake of Krakoa's fall, the shape-shifting mutant resurfaces, reminding the world why she's both feared and infamous. Declan Shalvey's insights are Mystique is hands down one of the most compelling characters to come from the Marvel Universe. To have an opportunity to put my own stamp on such an iconic character and showcase her in a series of her own is a unique privilege. He also says, as a rabid X fan since childhood, he's having a blast channeling all his X enthusiasm into writing and drawing this project. He continued in the series, Mystique is reeling from the fall of Krakoa. She's a rogue element with no accountability, putting a mysterious plan into action, ruthlessly destroying anything and anyone in her way. Mystique #1 goes on sale October 16th.
Ooh.
That was a mouthful.
Now,
Indeed.
Drew, since you're big into signatures and stuff, say like Rebecca Romaine, who played Mystique, would you have her sign a Mystique comic?
I don't, honestly, I don't know if I would. I feel like if it was her on a cover, then yes, I would.
Like
I don't know.
Like they used to do the photographic covers and such.
Yeah, like if one of those. Like I don't know. I feel like for me, in terms of something like that, I'd rather get the autograph from the creators, people who worked on the book, because I feel like that is separate from. I'm
on your side. I agree.
The portrayal, yeah. It's like if it's a photorealistic cover, like I have an autograph of Ron Perlman signing a Hellboy and the Golden Army tie-in book, right? That's different because it's based on his movie. It's his face there, so that makes sense. But I did know people who did get like Hellboy, like the book, like Seed of Destruction, signed by Ron. I'm like, okay, I get it, but I was like, but he was just portraying the character,
Yeah.
Like I feel like in my opinion, you should separate that. Like, but some people, if some people they want to do that, I was like, okay, go spend that money, do the thing.
Oh, I'm absolutely, I'm all for people getting signed whatever they want to get signed, but I just my own personal stuff. Like, I would never have what's her name sign my Batgirl or Batman Adventures 12 first Harley Quinn.
Mhm.
It like it would seem tainted in a way. Like, they don't really have anything to do with the book.
I mean, listen, whatever works, man. You know, but I believe the next story is you, right, Char?
Oh,
Well,
is it?
just real quick, if Rebecca, you think she'll come back in Deadpool?
Who knows? I mean, listen. We've already
That's a
seen
good
that.
possibility.
We've already seen that Tyler Mane is coming back as a cameo for Sabretooth, so anything's possible. So
see, now I have an action figure that's based off the likeness of Tyler Mane playing Sabretooth, so I think I would have that signed by him.
I was like, oh wow. But again, they're talking about a lot of references like that because, and I'm trying not to watch too many trailers because I really want to be surprised. You know, like sometimes there is such a thing as being too prepared. So, you know, so we'll see. But yeah,
soon.
But indeed. But yes, so I believe there's like one more story. So do you want to just
this October,
a
team of soldiers, each bearing scars from devastating superhero battles and enhanced with nanotechnology, is assigned to the mission of capturing dangerous mutants who threaten peace in Sentinels. This 5-issue limited series, penned by Alex Packnadel, known for Red Goblin, and illustrated by Justin Mason, noted for Spider-Punk, follows their journey. As the X-Men recover from the downfall of Krakoa, the government reinstates the notorious Sentinel program, led by Lawrence Trask. Trask, a mutant plagued by visions of catastrophic war between species, knows exactly which malevolent mutants will spark this conflict. Outwardly, Trask's new Sentinels seem like tech-enhanced superhumans, but their creations conceals a darker secret. With Greymilk in prison now holding the villains they capture, the stage is set for the emergence of a formidable new adversary that will shape the first year of the X-Men from the Ashes era. Who are these new Sentinels? The original Sentinel program was built on human supremacy and fear encoded into their systems. Now this legacy is in the hand of mutants. Equipped with advanced nanotechnology, this new generation of Sentinels aims to maintain the fragile peace between mutants and humans. But when being a Sentinel is your life's work, can you retain your humanity? Meet Sawtooth, Lockstep, Drumfire, and Voivod, a fresh team of heroes ready to confront the most dangerous mutants. Their first mission, capture Omega Red.
Wow.
Yep.
Big one.
Nice.
Okay.
It's going to be cool. I think with the new introduction of characters is always a good thing.
Yeah.
People are always saying that they do too much with the old characters and new stories need to be refreshed.
Yeah, but
hopefully the characters
there's so many X books right now. I'm just like,
oh, there is.
There is, and I'm just like, and I know this is awful, but I'm like, I'm not interested in reading any of them. Like, no, it's just because this is the same way I felt with the X-Men and Krakoa. Like, there was just so much, and I was just like, I didn't keep up, so I have no idea what's going on, and I'm just like it's just sometimes you get why sometimes some people have trouble breaking into comics. There's just an influx. There's just too much, and it's just overwhelming. Like, you can't, like, sometimes there's some things, and Carrie is a good example of this, where you just got to cannonball it in and just figure out how to swim. And then there's sometimes like, no, you got to dip your pinky toe and you got to slowly waddle your way in. You can't just belly flop it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you're in luck, Drew, because the From the Ashes era is just beginning.
Oh,
It's a great time to start an X book.
All right. Oh, look at the time. Is it the end of the show? Oh my
Yeah.
God, no way.
Hey, it's nappy time for Drew, so we're gonna wrap
Shut
things
up.
up. I want to thank everybody for watching this fine evening. Make sure you get your tickets to Terrificon, and if you're not in the area, make sure you get down here for Terrificon. Come to Connecticut. You know, it's awesome here, and it's going to be an
for the
awesome
pizza.
time. What? Yeah, stay for the pizza, totally. But you know how to find me. But more importantly, follow these awesome people, including Jar Jar.
Hey, everybody, it's Jar Jar Jeremy saying go to Terrificon and come hang with us, actually. That would be really kind of cool. You can meet us in person and tell us how much you love us. Tell us how great we are. Hey, maybe we could get interviewed by another podcast. That would be interesting, wouldn't it? It'd be like an influx of podcasts. But check me out on Facebook, Jeremy Courtney, and tomorrow night we'll be doing Still Toking With, and we are still toking with Jim Hardy, guy from
The Hardy Boys.
You know if you know. Just watch it. No. See, you don't know, so you
No,
so you don't know.
Okay,
No,
Carrie.
No, I don't
Oh,
know.
he handles all the Bob Hope stuff.
Oh.
Bob Hope.
All the stuff that goes on with the Bob Hope.
He's still alive?
No, Bob Hope's. Leo, stay on track.
Get back to Carrie.
Drew's gonna kill us if we don't move on to Carrie.
Get back to Carrie.
Okay.
God damn, it's like
So,
herding cats.
You wanna? When I am not hanging out with these lovely, wonderful gents, you can find me on the Owlite Network as well, where I do a bunch of shows with about storytelling. You can just find me, Carrie Sanders, on Facebook, and all of my links, my author stuff, my Owlite stuff, my Dorkening stuff, everything is there. Go ahead and reach out to me. Read my books. There's stories that I'm in. We have a new one that just came out, The Owlite Menagerie, with a bunch of members of the Owlite Network who are authors, as well as some of our guests, that has just been released. And all of the proceeds and profits for the first year are going to Pro Literacy, an adult literacy charitable organization. And we're really excited about that. And
the building's so small. How can they fit in it? No, nobody caught the reference.
Oh, I got it. That's why I'm chuckling, you idiot.
Oh, okay.
Hey, everybody. I'm sorry to interrupt you all. I'm just getting tired. Shut up, Leo. I'm laying down, which means it's near the end of the show. That's just apparently the way things go now. Thank you so much for spending your 2 hours and 11 minutes with us. We appreciate it. We are not reimbursing anyone, so no need for receipts. You could find me on Facebook. You can see me below there on my Instagram. I don't know who that is. There are other things I do. I'll tell you all about it later. Otherwise, thank you, good night, and make sure to spay and neuter your pets.
Yeah. All of them.
That's better.